This film is purely fictional. Please do not imitate it. Your like and subscribe are the motivation for me to update. Chapter 318. Final Reward 1. Gold Coins x 400. The first reward made Yifeng's eyes light up. 400 gold coins can almost catch up with the amount of money that Wu Kaishan makes in a day, which is not bad. And this is the first reward. Generally speaking, the later the reward the better, which means that the good things are still to come. Final Reward 2. Twilight Soldier Barracks Replicator x2. The second reward made Yifeng a little confused. What is the Twilight Soldier Barracks Replicator? The previous Barracks Replicator reward now has the word Twilight Warrior. What is this? Yifeng was full of curiosity, but he was not in a hurry to check the specific properties of this thing, because the third reward was issued soon after. Final Reward 3. All equipment slots in the Survivor Barracks have been unlocked, and a maximum of 6 pieces of equipment can be carried. Yifeng's eyes widened when he heard this reward. This is what the final reward should look like. Before, all barracks equipment slots were increased by 1, and now they are all unlocked, which is equivalent to adding 2 additional equipment slots. With this status, it means that Yifeng will have 6 gods to beat 3 gods of others in the future, and with enough equipment slots. The equipment matching of chess pieces will become more comprehensive. A huge improvement. This is simply a huge improvement. That's right. At this time, Yifeng was extremely excited. It seems that this mission was not completed in vain. Before Yifeng came back to his senses from this ecstasy, he heard a new reward prompt sound. There are rewards. Yifeng originally thought that rewarding all members with 6 equipment slots was the biggest gain this time, but he didn't expect that there would be more exciting rewards. Final Reward 4. When the survivor's barracks chess piece is damaged, it blocks 100 points of damage. The block is calculated after the chess piece actually receives damage. And all barracks chess pieces receive 20% damage reduction and 20% damage increase. What does this mean? In other words, Yifeng's chess pieces not only receive an additional 20% damage reduction and 20% damage increase, even after calculating all the damage reduction, the damage received can also deduct 100 points of fixed damage. In other words, with Darius's high damage reduction, many times the damage to him is less than 100 points. After blocking 100 points, it will be 0 damage. This buff state can make Yifeng's chess piece more powerful. This time's reward is beyond Yifeng's imagination. The original goal was to get some props such as equipment expanders, so that Darius's equipment slots would not be so stretched. I never expected that not only did I complete the predetermined goal, but I also got such a powerful buff state reward in excess. Final Reward 5. Reward a random Twilight Warrior Barracks Builder. Wait, the prize pool is still accumulating. There is actually a Twilight Warrior Barracks Builder. What is this? Although Yifeng didn't know what the so-called Twilight Warrior was. But it can be placed in the last item as a reward. It means it must be good. Suddenly, Yifeng remembered the second reward just now, the Twilight Warrior Barracks Replicator. So this second reward is used together with this 5th reward? But what kind of barracks will the Twilight Warrior Barracks be? This made Yifeng very curious. The random Twilight Warrior Barracks Builder this time is the Twilight Berserker Barracks Builder. Twilight Berserker? Yifeng felt that this name seemed to have been heard somewhere, but looking through the various seasons of the Golden Shovel in his memory, it seemed that there was no Twilight Berserker card. However, this name sounded familiar to Yifeng inexplicably. All the rewards were distributed to the backpack, and Yifeng hurried back to the base to see what the Twilight Berserker Barracks of the so-called Twilight Warrior Barracks were. When Yifeng returned to the base, he took out the Twilight Berserker Barracks Builder directly from his backpack. From the phantom above, this seems to be the Berserker Barracks. The Berserker has appeared in many seasons of the Golden Shovel, but the Berserker at this time is purple, which Yifeng has never seen before. No matter what, let's build it first. When Yifeng chose to use it, the Barracks Builder automatically flew out and formed a new barracks on the nearby open space. In theory, a 1-star barracks should be bronze. But after the Twilight Berserker Barracks was built, it was directly purple with dark red. What is this? Since it has not been recruited yet, Yifeng cannot check the strength and bond of the barracks chess pieces. Let's recruit one first and try it out, Yifeng said to himself, and immediately chose to recruit a Twilight Berserker. This recruitment, Yifeng found something wrong. The gold coin consumption of this Twilight Berserker is actually 20 gold coins. This consumption is definitely wrong. Damn, 20 gold coins for one chess piece. Why don't you go grab it? Yifeng raised his middle finger to the sky, expressing his dissatisfaction. However, Yifeng's mind exploded. 20 gold coins. Twilight Warrior, these two words merged together in his mind. Yifeng finally remembered where the familiar feeling of hearing Twilight Warrior came from before. This is not the Easter egg card of the Golden Shovel War, the 20-cost Twilight chess piece. In other words, the reward this time is actually a 20-cost barracks. However, in the Golden Shovel game, the 20-cost barracks cannot be upgraded at all. So what is the point of 2 Twilight Warrior barracks replicators? Yifeng moved his eyes to the attributes of Twilight Berserker. The basic health value is 1,500 points, and the basic armor and magic resistance are only 35 points, but the basic attack power is 243 points. The skill name is Berserker's Fury. Berserker's Fury. Passive. For every 1% of health lost, the attack speed increases by 20%, and each attack restores 300% of the health of the spell's strength. The attack speed of Twilight Berserker can break the 5.0 upper limit. There is only one passive, but the effect of this passive is enough to make people excited. For every 1% of health lost, the attack speed is increased by 20%, so when half health is in the state, the attack speed can be increased by 1000%, and there is no need to worry about the attack speed overflow of this Twilight Berserker, because his attack speed has no upper limit at all. With the blood recovery of each attack, this Twilight Berserker will be hard to die unless he is instantly killed or controlled by the enemy. Thinking of this, Yifeng suddenly thought, if Twilight Berserker is equipped with Against's Rage Blade, then if he has no upper limit on the attack speed, how exaggerated will it be if he keeps fighting? Hundreds of slashes in 1 second? The real Shadowless Sword. At this time, Yifeng suddenly remembered that every 20-cost card has its own unique bond. This Twilight Berserker's bond. What miraculous effects will Twilight's Wrath have? Chapter 319. Yifeng checked the Twilight's Wrath bond effect again. These high-cost unique bonds were not introduced like other bonds, but the unique bond effects were displayed openly. Twilight's Wrath. All chess pieces on your side gain control immunity. This bond is very simple, and can be described as plain and simple. But even such a plain and simple bond has an effect that is almost equivalent to adding a piece of equipment to all members. Immune to control effect is equivalent to all members having the effect of a piece of Mercury equipment. It can even be said that the effect of this bond is even better than Mercury. After all, Mercury's immunity to control is still limited by time, but this Twilight's Wrath bond is directly triggered unconditionally throughout the whole process. Yifeng checked the Twilight Warrior Barracks replicator he had just obtained. In the game, 20-cost cards cannot be upgraded or transformed using Pandora's reserve seat. So what is the effect of this Barracks replicator? Twilight Warrior Barracks replicator. After use, you can copy a Twilight Warrior Barracks. When there are 3 Twilight Warrior Barracks with the same name, they will be fused and the attributes will be greatly improved. It seems that the effect of the 20-cost barracks in the survival game has been modified to allow them to be fused and upgraded once. And these 2 replicators are prepared for this. Yifeng naturally did not hesitate, and used both replicators directly. After this wave of use, the 3 barracks merged together, and turned into a constantly changing and gorgeous color. Yifeng checked the attributes of Twilight Berserker again. The original basic health directly reached 4,500 points. The attack power has reached 729 points. Armor and magic resistance have both increased to 105 points. Each attack restores 300% of the spell power and health points, which has been increased to 900% of the spell power and health points. And this is just the basic attribute of Twilight Berserker. 6 Sentinels, and Beast a Diplomat. For mages, permanent buff 1000 health points and 20% damage reduction. These together are enough to make Olaf an immortal tank. What is needed now is to prepare new equipment for Twilight Berserker. There is no upper limit to the attack speed, so a sheep knife must be obtained. The remaining 5 pieces of equipment are best all tank equipment, or special effect attack equipment. Yifeng suddenly remembered that he killed the Scarlet Monster underground in the Gobi area, and got a piece of artifact equipment of his choice. As a result, he was busy hunting monsters in the 4 poles, and had no time to open it. Now is the opportunity to open this thing. Among a bunch of artifact equipment, Yifeng decisively chose Wisdom's End. The special effect of this equipment is that the attack will have 42 points of magic damage, and 35% of the damage will be converted into healing. After equipping Olaf with this equipment, the general attack will not only have physical damage, but also magic damage. Although it seems that 42 points of damage is not high, there is no upper limit to Olaf's attack speed. As long as the speed is fast, hundreds and thousands of cuts in 1 second, then the damage will reach an exaggerated value. Thinking of this, Yifeng suddenly thought that if he could provide Olaf, whose attack speed ignores the upper limit, with the abnormal mutation 1000 cuts, then how terrifying the damage can be. Thinking of this, Yifeng couldn't help but get excited. Where should I go to get a wave of abnormal mutants? Since Twilight Berserker can recover health with normal attacks and is immune to control, it is almost equivalent to unlimited health recovery. As long as he is not killed instantly, he can recover his health. After Yifeng equipped him with 2 pieces of equipment, Gince's Rage Blade and Wisdom's End, the following 4 pieces of equipment are all defense-oriented: Heart of Determination, Berserker Armor, Titan's Resolve, Iron-Blooded Conqueror Emblem. Yifeng first chose Heart of Determination to provide more damage reduction for Twilight Berserker. The second item was to directly choose Berserker to increase Twilight Berserker's health, and Titan's Resolve additionally increases attack power and spell strength, and at the same time increases dual resistance. Finally, there is an extra Iron-Blooded Conqueror emblem. After equipping it, Twilight Berserker's attack power and spell strength are greatly improved. Each attack can restore more than thousands of health points. With this set of equipment, Twilight Berserker's survival and output are greatly improved. It can also be immune to control effects. Unless the damage is so high that it kills instantly, it is difficult to die. After finishing it, Yifeng equipped the empty grids of other chess pieces. Darius's equipment has also been updated. Pride of the Madman, Will of the Dragon, Sunlight Cloak, Heritage of the Colossus, First Generation Dragon Claw, First Generation Thorn Armor, 6 pieces of equipment for Darius. Unless the real damage is high, it is basically impossible to cause much damage to him. Draven, who also costs 1 mana, was also supplemented with a Sharp Blade and Knight's Edge by Yifeng. The current 6 pieces of equipment include Gince's Reckoning, Zenith Blade, Demon Catcher, Radiant Blade, Sharp Blade, and Knight's Edge. Leona added a Dragon's Claw and Adaptive Helmet. The former increases tankiness and life recovery, while the latter provides Leona with more mana recovery to ensure a shorter skill vacuum period. Crowswain added Berserker's Armor and Steadfast Heart. LeBlanc added Gnasher's Tooth, and also reached the level of 6 God equipment. All of Yifeng's chess pieces have reached the level of 6 God equipment after this full pull. The only regret is that the subsequent supplementary equipment are some ordinary finished equipment. There is no way, after all, Yifeng does not have so many light equipment to arm his chess pieces. Yifeng now has 596 gold coins. This time, Yifeng did not redraw cards, but prepared to continue to replenish chess pieces. He would first fill up the chess pieces before considering new cards. With this idea in mind, Yifeng spent 480 gold coins to buy 96 Malzahar chess pieces. The number of Malzahar was raised to the upper limit of 200 at once. There were only 116 gold coins left. Yifeng did not continue to use them, but rushed to the real battlefield again. After all, the 500 gold coins of today's Wukaishin have not been refreshed. We must hurry up and solve this most important thing first. When Yifeng came to the real battlefield again, Lu Shui and Zhao Su immediately found something wrong. The number of chess pieces behind Yifeng actually increased a lot. Where did this newcomer get so many gold coins? However, they remembered what the superiors gave them, and hurriedly called Yifeng. Yifeng, the boss gave us a teleportation scroll, and asked us to give it to you. He said that if you have time, you can go to the core area to find them. He wants to talk to you. Facing the scroll handed over by Lu Shui, Yifeng took it casually. Got it. I go there when I have time after killing the monsters. After that, Yifeng took the chess pieces and entered the world of the Void Passage again. Chapter 320. This time, Yifeng entered the space of the Void Channel, just like a dragon entering the sea. All 6 pieces of equipment will gain an additional 20% damage reduction and damage increase, which is enough to make Yifeng's chess piece damage more terrifying. Especially when 203-star Malzahars use their skills together, dense mechanical gates appear, which are enough to kill all enemies instantly. This time, the identities of hunter and prey have changed. It seems that Yifeng is the prey in this space, and all the void monsters are just lambs to be slaughtered. Some void monsters seem to have some wisdom. The moment they meet Yifeng from a distance, they turn around and run away. This makes Yifeng very distressed. After all, these monsters run away when they meet, and they can't be killed effectively at all. How can the honor value be stacked? Yifeng was anxious, and the efficiency of hunting was reduced a lot. In this case, Yifeng walked step by step into the depths of the Void Channel world. And many void creatures were terrified of Yifeng, and even fled to the surrounding exits. Yifeng was not clear about this, but he felt that the monsters nearby were all moving away from him, and he could not hunt them effectively. Yifeng continued to move forward in one direction. The real battlefield outside had undergone earth-shaking changes. Due to Yifeng's operation, many void monsters fled outside. The survivors guarding the exit outside were in a tough battle. There were even more void monsters than before. This situation did not just happen in one place, but in many places. Even some survivors in some places almost died on the battlefield in the face of the void monsters that kept running out. This matter spread quickly. After checking, everyone found out that there were riots of void monsters in many places. Are these void monsters crazy? There hasn't been such a crazy invasion for a long time. Is there any big move again? Damn it, this kind of thing must be quickly let the 12 people in the core area know. Those strongest bosses must quickly find out what's going on, otherwise everyone can't stand it. I remember that the last time the void monsters rioted, many brothers were sacrificed. That time, the monsters in the core area wanted to kill. Everyone panicked, as if the sky had fallen. After Wang Tianxi and the other 12 people in the core area received the news, they also immediately explored the situation of the source monsters in the core area. This time, the exploration made them dumbfounded. The monster is now sleeping, without any abnormal movement. In other words, the abnormal movement this time was not caused by the monsters in the core area. So what is going on? It seems that the problem this time is that there is something wrong with the world in the void channel itself. But what is the problem? Should we send someone to investigate? Some people speculated that there was a problem in the void channel and suggested sending people to check it out. Many others agreed with this suggestion. This time the monsters are rioting inside, and other people may not be able to resist. Let's lend 1 or 2 chess pieces to the people who go out. Soon, they made arrangements and prepared to send people to investigate the specific cause of the riot. At this time, Yifeng was still chasing the void monsters in the world of the void channel. His honor value was only over 3,000 points, which was still a little short of the upper limit of 5,000 points. But the killing efficiency was very slow. At this moment, Yifeng finally encountered a large group of void monsters. And the strength of these void monsters was not too bad. They could hold on for 1 or 2 minutes in Yifeng's hands before dying. There was an exit near this group of void monsters, and hundreds of void monsters were rushing out frantically. My honor value. Don't run. Yifeng rushed over with the chess piece. This operation made the group of void monsters run out frantically, as if they had encountered a natural enemy. At this time, in the S-level battlefield area at the end of the exit, the 5-man team had used up all the things they had saved. But facing the endless stream of void monsters, their resistance was still a bit stretched. Damn it, when will the reinforcements arrive? I'm running out of consumables. I don't know, these void monsters are probably crazy. This is the first time I've seen them so crazy, and few people can withstand this strength in the S-level area. As they roared, the void channel lit up again, and a large number of void monsters rushed out. They were so dense that there were hundreds of them at a glance. And it usually takes them more than 10 minutes to kill each monster. This is a dead end. Hack him. How can so many void monsters come out at once? It's really over now. It's bad. Even if reinforcements come, only 1 more person will die. Hundreds of powerful void monsters, is that something I can handle? At this time, they were all in despair, and even had a teasing tone in their tone. In such a situation, it is estimated that no one in the S-level area can handle it. No matter which base they encounter, there is only one way to go. Just when this group of people were desperate, they found that the monster exit was actually lit up again. Still coming? We are just a small S-level base. Are you going to kill us? Everyone was in despair. But soon they found something wrong. This time, it was actually a survivor who came out, and he also brought thousands of chess pieces to kill. After he appeared, the void monsters all wailed, as if they were afraid of something. Before this group of people reacted, they saw the survivor who came out commanding the chess pieces to hunt the group of void monsters frantically. The void monsters that were difficult to deal with in their eyes were easily killed by this young survivor. Even the horrible damage hit the survivor's front row chess piece, causing almost no blood loss. He survived without any injury. Who is this person? How can he be so powerful? His chess piece is too powerful. Several people stared at this scene in amazement. In just 5 or 6 minutes, all the void monsters were cleared. At this time, they came back to their senses and showed a relaxed expression after surviving the disaster. The leader sighed and breathed a sigh of relief. Today these monsters are rioting and rushing out. I thought I was going to die here today. Several other people came forward to agree. Yes, it's too scary. Thank you, brother, for saving me from the fire and water. Yes, brother, you are so awesome. This is simply turning the tide. You defeated so many void monsters by yourself. You are simply a Superman. Listening to their words, Yifeng seemed to understand where the tide they were talking about came from. Chapter 321. At this time, Yifeng also suddenly realized that many monsters had escaped before. It seems that the source of this tide is himself. However, Yi Feng will naturally not tell them these words. Just treat this master who can turn the tide is enough. At this time, one person curiously asked Yi Feng, "Brother, are you sent as reinforcement? But why did you come from the Void Channel?" For them, Yi Feng, who was like a divine soldier, must be a rescue team sent. However, they obviously guessed wrong. Yi Feng shook his head and denied the other party's guess. "I just passed by here." These words made several people dumbfounded. This person is not a reinforcement. What a joke. Such a powerful master, you told everyone that you were just passing by. At this time, a space crack appeared around. Several people rushed out from it, each with hundreds of chess pieces behind them. Reinforcements are coming. However, when they came out to see the surrounding situation clearly, they were dumbfounded. No, it was agreed that hundreds of terrifying void monsters would appear together, and it was extremely urgent and dangerous. How come everything was calm after coming here? Falsely reporting the situation, this is no joke. The leader immediately turned his head and looked at a survivor in this battlefield. Do you know how much impact false reporting can cause? Hearing this question, someone pointed at Yi Feng. There were really hundreds of monsters just now, but they were all solved by this buddy. Hearing this, the few people who came to reinforce noticed Yi Feng. After looking up and down, he looked at the chess pieces behind Yi Feng. There are indeed many of them, but many of them have never been seen before. Which era is the other party a master? I wonder what your name is, brother. Seeing that the other party asked his name, Yi Feng told him directly. After hearing the answer, the leader fell into thought. Why does the name Yi Feng sound so familiar? I seem to have heard it somewhere, but why can't I remember it? But fortunately, his companion beside him reminded him. Captain, it seems that the newcomer favored by the big boss Wang Tianxi is called this name. Suddenly, the leader became clear. No wonder he had never seen many chess pieces in front of him. It turned out to be a newcomer, so this can be explained. However, did this newcomer really solve so many void monsters by himself? If so, the strength of this newcomer is a bit too exaggerated. Are you the newcomer Yi Feng? Faced with the other party's inquiry, Yi Feng nodded. According to the current information, there should be no one else who came to the real battlefield except Yi Feng. These people were still preparing to say something, but Yi Feng couldn't wait and just wanted to return to the base as soon as possible. This wave of kills has maxed out the honor value again, earning him 500 gold coins. The remaining number of gold coins has reached 616. At this time, Yi Feng just wanted to return to the base and start D again. Strive to give yourself another wave of improvement before the 40th day of the Secret Realm Challenge tomorrow. So in the surprised eyes of everyone, Yi Feng left directly. When he returned to the base, it was already past 5 in the afternoon, not far from night. After returning to the base, Yi Feng could not wait to open the barracks interface. There were 14 refresh opportunities in total, just in time to see if there would be any good stuff. The first refresh, Yi Feng's eyes lit up. One refresh, 2 6-cost chess pieces, and they happened to be Mel and Victor. Spending 60 gold coins, Yi Feng bought the 2 barracks builders. Mel also successfully broke through 2 stars. In addition to the improvement of the value of 2-star Mel, the number of chess pieces that can be resurrected has also increased from the original 10 to 20. It can be said to be a doubling of the improvement, and Victor now has 4 cards. Only 5 more cards are needed to directly pull it to 3 stars and 6 costs. 3 stars and 6 costs. This is an achievement that Yi Feng has never achieved in the game of Golden Shovel War. Thinking of this, Yi Feng couldn't help but continue to open D. With Yi Feng's probability, a 5-cost or 6-cost card can appear almost every time, which is very easy to find the corresponding chess piece. He did 3 more times, but unfortunately, the 6-cost barracks did not appear in these 3 times. Only Rumble, Jinx, and Iron Man appeared. All of them were bought by Yi Feng, who was rich and generous. There were 10 refreshes and 481 gold coins left. The number of Iron Man Mordekaiser has reached 6. If he is lucky, he may be able to give Iron Man 3 stars before Victor 3 stars. Yi Feng continued to D for another 5 times, and this time his luck was finally good. In the 5 refreshes, Victor appeared twice and Jinx once. Victor only needs the last 3 cards. It all depends on the last 5 refreshes. Unfortunately, the last 5 refreshes were not lucky. Only 4 of the 5 refreshes produced 5-cost cards, and 1 refresh did not even produce a 5-cost card. These 4 times were Jace, Policewoman, Sevica, and Rambo. Looking at the 3-star Victor that can be synthesized with only 3 barracks left, Yi Feng thought about the 8 barracks replicators in his backpack again, and felt that there was no need to save any more. I was about to take out the replicators and copy all the Victors at once, but suddenly remembered that the scroll altar only needed the last day to copy a victor. In other words, one barracks replicator could be saved. Thinking of this, Yi Feng tried hard to suppress his excitement, and simply followed the icons on the map to use the real-world crack to go directly to the possible strongholds on the map for hunting. Although the current combat power is very strong, Yi Feng's chess equipment can still be updated. Going out hunting, maybe you can get some auxiliary equipment or artifact equipment. After killing all the way until midnight, Yi Feng returned to the base. Luck was a bit bad, not many things I wanted were revealed. Although there were a few magic scroll production drawings, they were no longer attractive to Yi Feng, so he put them directly into his backpack. Congratulations to all survivors for successfully surviving to the 40th day. Daily gold coins have been issued. Survivor, Yi Feng. Base level, LV9. The current maximum number of barracks that can be built, 9 plus 16. Base upgrade, 289 days later. The time finally came to the 40th day. Yi Feng woke up early in the morning and waited at the scroll altar. The scroll altar has been copied. Do you want to receive Victor Barracks Builder X1? After choosing to receive it, Yi Feng used 2 barracks replicators again and copied 2 Victor Barracks Builders again. Suddenly, Yi Feng had enough barracks to upgrade to 3-star Victor. It was detected that the survivors can synthesize 3-star Victor Barracks. Do you want to synthesize? Chapter 322. 3-star Victor. Enough to kill all enemies instantly, at least when facing survivors. Of the remaining disposable gold coins, Yi Feng recruited 19 more victors, bringing the number of victors to 50. Yi Feng did not use the remaining gold coins. In order to facilitate the division of troops, Yi Feng made an intelligent chess piece for each type of barracks chess piece. This time, Yi Feng had enough troops to divide into more than 20 groups. The Secret Realm match started again. For this Secret Realm match, Yi Feng was eager to try out the power of the 3-star Victor. When Yi Feng was about to enter the Secret Realm, he got a special prompt. There are a total of 11 survivors in this Secret Realm match. While exploring the hidden monsters in the Secret Realm, you will become hostile to the other 10 survivors, 1 person against the other 10 people. Hearing this prompt, Yi Feng was a little surprised. According to the meaning of this prompt, this is a secret realm where there are monsters and survivors. Moreover, Yi Feng not only has to face various so-called monsters, but also has to fight 10 survivors alone. The last secret realm match was assigned according to strength, so this time Yi Feng's strength is enough to fight 10 survivors alone in the eyes of the survival game. This game really thinks highly of me. Yi Feng complained, but there was no worry in his tone. After all, with Yi Feng's current strength, 53-star 6-cost victors can already sweep the battlefield. Not to mention that in addition to Victor, Yi Feng also has 3-star 5-cost Malzahar and LeBlanc. There are also a lot of ascended chess pieces comparable to 3-star 5-cost. Fighting 1 against 10 is no big deal. After a little preparation, Yi Feng went directly to the Secret Realm. The map of the Secret Realm this time is very strange. It is actually a corrupt area covered with purple substances. This is the ruined scenery after being invaded by the void. This area used to be a mountainous area, but now there is no breath of life. This Secret Realm mission: explore the truth of the Secret Realm and eliminate the monsters in the Secret Realm. Please note that the other 10 survivors will become enemies with you this time. Please be more careful. 2 prompt sounds rang in Yi Feng's ears. And the 10 survivors also entered the Secret Realm, and the prompt sounds that rang in their ears were somewhat different. This Secret Realm optional task 1. Successfully survive 24 hours. This Secret Realm optional task 2. Defeat the survivor Yi Feng. This Secret Realm optional task 3. Find the truth of the Secret Realm and restore the Secret Realm to its original state. The 10 survivors were all teleported to one area. They came from different national war zones, and did not attack each other after meeting. After all, they all knew that this time they were not enemies, but allies against the survivor Yi Feng from Yin country. Can we really do it? Yi Feng has killed many masters. Someone raised a question, obviously knowing some inside information. However, a survivor from Rya country stood up in the crowd. Don't worry, I received intelligence. Yi Feng used an item called Potential Overdraft Potion. After using it, the attributes of the chess pieces can be doubled in a short period of time. This is why he was able to kill a group of people before. But after using this item, his chess pieces' health, attack power, spell strength, armor, magic resistance, etc. are only 20% to 30% of the original. With 10 of us together, we definitely have a chance to kill him. The words of the survivor from Rya rekindled everyone's hope. If that's the case, then if they seize this opportunity, they can easily kill the other party. Thinking of this, all these people are ready to fight. It would be an honor to kill Yi Feng in this secret realm. The survival game gave us a teleportation prop that can be teleported to teammates immediately. Why don't we split up and notify Yi Feng when we see him, and come all over? Yu Dekaming made this suggestion. This suggestion was immediately agreed by them. The 10 people immediately dispersed and walked out in different directions. In just half an hour, Yi Feng met the first survivor. It was a blonde survivor from Lifeng. After seeing Yi Feng, he not only did not run away, but even flashed with excitement in his eyes. Yi Feng, you can't escape. Seeing the other party so excited, as if he had already controlled himself, Yi Feng immediately suspected that the other party was high on marijuana. Not only did the other party not surrender, but he even fantasized about killing himself. Where do you get the confidence from? Facing Yi Feng's question, the survivor of Lifeng country did not hide anything. He answered Yi Feng proudly. Don't think I don't know that you used the potential overdraft potion item. Now the strength of the chess piece is not even 2 or 3 levels. Hearing this word, Yi Feng's face suddenly became gloomy. Previously, he asked Zhuang how to spread the news that his chess piece's attributes had become weak, and he told different people a little differently. Potential overdraft potion only has 2 or 3 levels of strength, which can basically lock a small group of people. There must be a traitor among this small group of people, but Yi Feng's face was gloomy. But the survivor of Lifeng thought that Yi Feng was scared after being exposed. He laughed even more exaggeratedly. At this moment, 9 portals appeared around, and 10 survivors gathered together, ready to join forces to take down Yi Feng. Everyone come together. Take advantage of his weakness to kill him completely. Looking at the people rushing up excitedly, Yi Feng couldn't help but smile. This is good, saving the trouble of looking for people everywhere. If all these people hide like mice, it may not be easy to get rid of them all quickly. But they gathered together, so they could catch them all in one fell swoop. Looking at the people rushing up, Yi Feng only sent 50 victors to the front of the battlefield. Seeing this, the survivors of Rhea laughed suddenly, although they didn't know Victor. But the one holding the staff looked like a mage. Letting the mage come to the front row was just a waste of food. However, the ending was beyond their expectation. 3-star Victor could release skills directly at the beginning. 50 victors waved their staffs at the same time, and all the enemy chess pieces around them were suspended in the air. The sky was densely filled with chess pieces, blocking the sunlight. The group of people were dumbfounded. What was going on? Why did all their chess pieces fly into the sky? Just as they were confused, Victor kept waving his staff and gathered the chess pieces to a point in the center. In the end, all the chess pieces were piled together. Then everything was as gorgeous as fireworks, and it all exploded in an instant. The chess pieces of 10 survivors were wiped out in an instant. Chapter 323. 10 chess pieces turned into ashes in an instant, which made everyone unexpected. They looked at this scene and rubbed their eyes repeatedly in disbelief. How is this possible? Didn't they say that Yi Feng's strength was very weak? How could there be a chess piece that could kill so many of their chess pieces in an instant? What's the point of playing this? At this time, everyone was left with despair in their hearts. Yi Feng ordered the chess pieces to capture all 10 people. Tell me, how did you know that my strength is only 2 or 3 levels? Faced with Yi Feng's questioning, these 10 people were very tough and didn't speak. Falling into Yi Feng's hands, they naturally knew that they were doomed. Anyway, they were all going to die, so why say more? Yi Feng took these 10 people apart and questioned them one by one. The result was still stubborn and unwilling to speak. In that case, don't blame yourself. If you keep silent, I will kill 2 people at random. I'm not sure who they are. If someone speaks, I will start from those who don't speak. After separating them, some people soon wavered. But no one was willing to speak. But when Yi Feng really killed 2 people, the rest of the people finally panicked. They all told everything they knew. After integrating the information from these people, Yi Feng got the answer he wanted. Sure enough, there are still many parasites and traitors in Yin country. It seems that after returning, these people need to be thoroughly cleaned up. After waiting for useful information, Yi Feng did not show mercy. All of you go to hell. With Yi Feng's order, the chess pieces attacked one after another, and all 10 survivors died on the spot. After resolving this episode, Yi Feng turned his attention back to the secret realm itself. It is obvious that there is a void monster hidden in this secret realm. It is unknown how powerful this void monster is. Yi Feng took out the hunting compass and searched inch by inch in the secret realm. After another half an hour of searching, Yi Feng finally found a cave entrance. The entrance of this cave is full of various dark purple substances, which looks like the nest of some terrifying existence. The hunting compass is now frantically prompting the existence of scarlet monsters around, and the closer to the cave entrance, the stronger the display. It seems that the monster is in this cave. With great skill and courage, Yifeng was not afraid of anything, so he took the chess pieces to explore the cave directly. The length and width of the cave entrance is about 10 meters, and a group of chess pieces walking on the road seemed very spacious. After walking for dozens of meters, although the cave was closed, there was still a purple light, and the situation inside could be seen clearly. You could even vaguely hear the roar of some monster. It seemed that the monster was deep in the cave. Finally, Yifeng saw the monster in the open space in the deepest part of the cave. It was a purple monster like an octopus, and its countless tentacles went deep into the ground, just like the roots of an old tree, firmly absorbing itself underground. After seeing Yifeng coming, the monster twisted its body with difficulty. After pulling out several tentacles from the ground, the monster tried to attack Yifeng with its fangs and claws. The attacking tentacles lit up with rays of light, and actually formed energy chains to control Yifeng's chess pieces. Unfortunately, it chose the wrong opponent. Yifeng, who has the Twilight Fury bond, has all his chess pieces with Mercury effects. Those energy chains tied to the chess pieces did not play any role at all, as if they provided a purple dress for the chess pieces. And the tentacles hit Darius in the front row, but it was not painful at all, and there was no deterrence at all. Seeing this, the void monster seemed to know that Yifeng was not easy to deal with. It pulled out a bunch of tentacles again and attacked Yifeng. Unfortunately, no matter how strong its attack was, it could not compare to the 3-star chess legion on Yifeng's side. This battle lasted about 5 minutes. It was already a good monster that could hold up 2 Kuns under the output of Yifeng's chess pieces. When this monster died, a golden light lit up underground. These lights flowed out from the cracks in the ground, and then rushed towards the outside world along the cave. The dark purple matter in the secret space was dissolved after touching the golden light. The original appearance of the ground was revealed. Not long after, the entire secret returned to its original appearance. Congratulations to the survivors for completing this secret mission. Do you want to return now or choose to continue exploring this secret? The rewards for this secret will be issued after returning to the base. The survivors are usually sent back to the base after the mission is completed. But this time, the survival game actually gave Yifeng an option to continue exploring the secret. This has never happened before. Something must be wrong when things are abnormal. Yifeng naturally chose to stay in the secret realm and continue to explore the situation. The survivor has chosen to continue exploring, and can leave the secret realm at any time later. The reminder sound of the survival game sounded again, and then there was no movement. Yifeng, who was in the cave, immediately thought of the location of the previous monster. The monster stayed here like a plant with roots, and the most likely problem was here. Yifeng checked the location where the void monster was entrenched, but did not find anything unusual. Strange, everything is normal. Yifeng quickly thought of another point. That is, the previous monster clearly inserted its tentacles into the ground. And after the monster died, the strange golden light also emerged from the ground. It's just that after the golden light came out, the underground cracks caused by the tentacles were all healed, which made Yifeng not think of it for a while. Maybe the problem is underground. Thinking of this, Yifeng immediately took out the tools and prepared to dig 3 feet into the ground to see the situation. After digging more than 10 centimeters of soil, Yifeng found something wrong. About half a meter underground, there was a brilliant color. Yifeng increased his speed, and soon dug the place thoroughly. Under the ground half a meter later, there were clusters of colorful and brilliant light. These lights formed a barrier, making it impossible to see what was inside. Yifeng tried to touch the light with his hand, and found that his hand actually passed through the light curtain barrier. I don't know what is inside, but it makes Yifeng's hand feel a little comfortable. There shouldn't be any problem. Even if there is a problem, you can return to the base at any time. With this idea in mind, Yifeng and the chess pieces dug a large pit several meters wide together. Then under Yifeng's command, all the chess pieces and Yifeng jumped directly into the light curtain together. Chapter 324. Stepping into the light curtain, Yifeng felt that he could not tell the direction, as if he was in the universe, and felt weightless. This was a gorgeous space, but he could not see anything clearly. This situation lasted for about a few minutes before Yifeng felt that his feet were on solid ground. At this time, Yifeng hurriedly looked around. All his chess pieces were here, which made Yifeng feel relieved. After all, this was his greatest confidence. This was a special space. There were no stars in the sky, but the space was extremely bright. From time to time, the colorful and gorgeous light could be seen suddenly lighting up around. And the ground was not soil, but the gorgeous light curtain, like the underground of the secret realm. Yifeng looked around, and did not find any special marks. He could not tell the location and direction. Yifeng tried to return to the base. After receiving the survival game prompt that he could return to the base at any time and the maximum exploration time was 60 minutes, Yifeng felt relieved and walked in one direction. At this time, in the core area of the real battlefield. In an area, the source of the monster, the most terrifying monster, split into several clones again and tried to escape. One of the clones even escaped to an area where they still didn't know what it was for. Zhao Tianxi had a headache, but for safety reasons, he personally took the chess pieces to the unknown area to hunt down the escaped clone. That area was full of brilliant lights. It looked beautiful, but it was actually full of danger. Because there were some light curtains that could take people and chess pieces to some areas where they didn't know where they were, and it is very difficult to find the way back in these areas. Zhao Tianxi was sent into unknown areas several times, and he almost couldn't come back. In other words, that area can be said to be a folded area where countless unknown areas merge together. At this time, Yifeng saw a monster not long after he walked. The monster was suspended in the air, and there was a huge purple eye in front of it. Above the purple giant eye, there were 3 slightly smaller purple eyes. This giant eye had no other body, and behind the giant eye were 3 long purple tentacles. It floated in the air, just as comfortable as in the water. When the monster saw Yifeng, the giant eye blinked, as if it saw something interesting. It stopped in the air, and the 3 tentacles waved up and down in the air, as if cheering. And Yifeng looked at the void monster in front of him, with a look of astonishment on his face. Isn't this thing the Eye of Void? I didn't expect that the void monsters here actually have the Eye of Void, although I don't know where this is. There are void monsters, and the health bar is lit, so I just send them to the sky. When seeing Yifeng commanding the chess pieces to rush up, the Eye of Void monster threw a ball of purple energy and hit the chess piece in the front. The damage of this attack caused more than 100 points of magic damage. This is the result of Yifeng's high magic damage reduction. Otherwise, this damage is enough to kill the chess piece instantly. Seeing that his attack failed, the big-eyed monster showed a puzzled look. Then, he excitedly swam towards the direction of Yifeng's chess piece in the air. It threw another magic ball, and hit the previous chess piece. However, the damage was still not very high. However, Yifeng soon noticed the 2 layers of purple marks on the chess piece. He immediately thought of something. The attack of the Eye of the Void will add marks to the enemy. When the marks are full, it will cause real damage to the enemy. This real damage will not be reduced by magic resistance. It is likely to cause huge damage to Yifeng's chess piece. Thinking of this, Yifeng quickly took out a magic scroll of the last stand. After the magic scroll was used, the 3rd skill of the Eye of the Void was also used. Sure enough, when the 3 skills hit the same chess piece, a huge amount of real damage suddenly exploded. This damage value is as high as 5 digits. Darius can still withstand this attack, but Leona will be hit to the point where only blood is left. Fortunately, the magic scroll was used in time, so there was no damage. Yifeng's chess piece also began to output. 3-star Victor took the lead, and an endless chaos storm appeared, trying to suck the giant eye monster into the air. However, the attack that was originally invincible only caused a huge suction force on the giant eye void monster at this moment, but did not directly pull it into the air. In the end, the chaos storm exploded with huge damage to the giant eye monster, but did not produce the corresponding control effect. At this time, the void monster looked at the Victor chess piece with great joy and curiosity. Then, LeBlanc and Malzahar's skills followed. Soon the 2 sides fought in a group. What Yifeng was most worried about this void monster was the high true damage that appeared from time to time after the mark was fully hit. In order to ensure the safety of the chess pieces, he could only keep using the magic scroll of the last stand. Soon the battle turned into a tug-of-war between the 2 sides. The final result could only end with the death of one side. After a stalemate of nearly an hour, the void monster showed signs of fatigue. This made Yifeng in a good mood. Another boss is about to explode. I wonder what the reward will be this time. Just when Yifeng was imagining what reward he would get. But suddenly, he heard the reminder sound of the survival game. After 30 seconds, he will be forced to return to the survivor base. Hearing this, Yifeng was anxious. This void monster was obviously going to die. Now that he was teleported back, wouldn't everything be in vain? Thinking of this, Yifeng wanted to curse. However, this still could not change the result of him being teleported back. When Yifeng was teleported back, Zhao Tianxi also found this place. He looked from a distance, and saw the giant-eyed monster floating in the air. What shocked him the most was that there was actually a survivor with chess pieces hunting this void monster, and it looked like he was about to kill this void monster alone. Who is this person? Zhao Tianxi was dumbfounded at this moment. When did such a master appear among the survivors? Could it be that someone in the core area had an adventure? He was about to go forward to take a closer look, but found a bright light. The man and all his chess pieces were wrapped in the light. When the light passed, everything disappeared. Only the void monster was left. At this time, the void monster was about to escape. Zhao Tianxi didn't care about anything else, and quickly called his chess pieces to rush up, determined to completely wipe out the monster's clone. However, before he could make a move, the monster suddenly let out a mournful cry and fell to the ground completely. At this moment, Yi Feng had been teleported back to the base, and the killing prompt rang in his ears. Congratulations to the survivor for killing the void clone. Rewards are being distributed. Chapter 325. Before Zhao Tianxi made a move, the void monster fell to the ground and died on the spot. Ah! The man killed one of the monster's clones single-handedly? Zhao Tianxi felt dumbfounded at this moment. He even suspected that he had not woken up yet, and all this was just a dream. But when a slap hit his face, the burning pain kept reminding Zhao Tianxi that all this was not a dream. Zhao Tianxi also had a Thor badge. Seeing that no one had dealt with the body of the void monster, Zhao Tianxi took out the badge. He absorbed all the energy of the void monster. Soon Zhao Tianxi returned. When the others saw Zhao Tianxi coming back so quickly, they all showed surprised expressions on their faces. Brother Tianxi, you came back so soon? Didn't you find the clone? Or did something else happen in that unknown area, so we can't continue to explore it? Could it be that the clone has escaped? We have to be more careful from now on. Everyone was talking at once. Zhao Tianxi didn't answer immediately, but took out his Thor badge, which had absorbed so much energy that it turned the badge dark purple. They clearly remembered that yesterday, Zhao Tianxi's badge was still in a state of energy consumption. Could it be? Some people showed a look of shock on their faces. With so much void energy, it could only be that the clone of the void monster was dealt with. However, how could the clone be dealt with in such a short time? So everyone couldn't believe it, but apart from this possibility, they couldn't find any other reason. That's right, that clone monster is dead. Zhao Tianxi's words were like a bombshell thrown into the crowd, shocking everyone to the point of opening their mouths. Fuck. Tianxi, you are so awesome. When did you become stronger secretly? Did you get some good props in private and didn't tell everyone? That's right. It's fine if you don't share the good things, but you didn't even tell us. Everyone has been fighting side by side for a long time, and no one is jealous of anyone. In fact, the stronger the companions are, the safer they are, which is a good thing no matter how you think about it. However, Zhao Tianxi did not show a happy look. He shook his head, sighed, and told everyone an incredible answer. When I got there, the clone was about to be killed by another survivor. Who was it? This question emerged in everyone's mind. This is impossible. There is only one strongest person in each era. Once someone reaches that level, it is difficult for the people behind to reach the same level. In other words, it is unlikely that anyone can catch up with them, or even surpass them. Suddenly, someone thought of a possibility. Wait, don't forget, there is also the newcomer Yi Feng of the new era. Could it be him? This guess is also unbelievable. But this guess is already a relatively reasonable explanation. Thinking of this, everyone took a breath. If it is true, then how terrifying is the strength of this newcomer Yi Feng? If he waits until the war in their country's war zone ends, how terrifying will his strength be? Thinking of this, everyone sighed in their hearts. Could this be a genius who surpasses everyone? If this is true, then is there a chance to completely solve the monster from the source? Thinking of this, everyone's blood boiled. If the monster at the source is really solved, then everything will be solved. Send someone to guard the area where the newcomer Yi Feng is, and wait for him to come next time, and be sure to contact him as soon as possible. Someone gave an order excitedly. But Yi Feng knew nothing about this. He had just returned to the base, and was constantly shocked by a series of reward prompts. The survivor Yi Feng killed the clone of the source void creature, and received the reward of Abnormal Mutation Pool Design X1. This is the reward for killing the Void Eye monster. It is not difficult to find out from the prompt that the so-called Void Eye monster is a clone of the source void creature. Just a clone? Yi Feng murmured. Yi Feng was a little curious about the reward Abnormal Mutation Pool design. What is this? But before he could think about it, another reward from the secret realm was issued. This secret realm match is over, and the corresponding rewards will be issued to the survivors. This reward 100 gold coins. This reward 1 God-given barracks of your choice. This reward 50 days less time to upgrade the base. This reward 3 random light equipment. This reward 2 gold shovel crowns. There are 4 rewards in total, covering gold coins, barracks, equipment, and base levels, which is a very comprehensive reward. The 3 random light equipment are Bank's Ascension Hat, Colossus's Heritage, and Holy Pearl Gauntlets. 2 mage equipment, and 1 tank equipment. The mage equipment was equipped to Victor by Yi Feng, replacing the original ordinary equipment. The legacy of the Colossus was given to Crow Swain to replace the original Steadfast Heart. After distributing the equipment, Yi Feng turned his attention to the self-selected God-given barracks reward. There are a total of 9 different chess pieces in the self-selected list. Sorica, Fiddlesticks, Urgot, Sona, Kiana, Lysandra, Hui Berea, Milio. Sure enough, these God-given barracks are all lucky versions of the New Year's Messenger card. Sorica can restore the character's health in the game, and even overflow damage can disintegrate the enemy. I don't know what kind of changes will be made in this survival game. For the remaining chess pieces, Milio can provide equipment or damage amplification for friendly forces, and Kiana and Lysandra have the opportunity to explode equipment, magic balls, and other things. Fiddlesticks and Berea are just simple output chess pieces. Yi Feng already has Urgot and Sona. After some thought, Yi Feng finally looked at Hui. Hui's skills are not outstanding, but he has a passive that makes many people excited. That is the effect of the Painting Saint, which can generate a 1-star copy of the corresponding barracks in the preparation seat according to the number of turns. This effect is the same as the current Painting Altar. If another Hui barracks is built, wouldn't it be a chance to double the copy? Thinking of this, Yi Feng did not hesitate and directly chose the Hui barracks. Suddenly, a new barracks stood in Yi Feng's base. A prompt sound came with it. If the survivor is detected to have a Painting Altar, the Hui barracks will enhance the effect of the Painting Altar, and the number of days required for copying is equal to the cost of the chess piece. In other words, copying a 6-cost barracks will only take 6 days in the future. Chapter 326. After finishing all this, Yi Feng checked the Abnormal Mutation Pool Construction Diagram. Abnormal Mutation Pool Construction Diagram. After use, you can build an Abnormal Mutation Pool in the base. Abnormal Mutation Pool can give a barracks chess piece a random abnormal mutation effect, and can be used 10 times a day. After reading the introduction, Yi Feng just wanted to shout, "Such a wonderful start! Please cheer for me! Please cheer for me!" Under the premise of not considering whether the abnormal mutation is used, it can be used 10 times a day, which is equivalent to giving 10 barracks abnormal mutation effects. At most 2 or 3 days, the abnormal mutation effect of all members can be maximized, and after that, you can slowly refresh the desired abnormal mutation for the chess piece 10 times a day. Yi Feng quickly used the construction diagram, and suddenly a pool appeared in the base. Rather than a pool, it is more like a mass of unknown matter, and it is even constantly expanding and shrinking. This appearance is 70% similar to the abnormal mutation grid in the Golden Shovel War game. Yi Feng currently only has 4 barracks with abnormal mutations: Darius, Draven, Crow Swain, Malzahar, and LeBlanc. The rest of the chess pieces have not obtained abnormal mutation effects. For Yi Feng, the most important thing now is to brush out useful abnormal mutations for Leona and 6-cost Victor. As for other chess pieces, you can wait and see. The method of using the abnormal mutation pool is very simple. You only need to command a corresponding chess piece to walk into the pool, and the barracks where this chess piece is located will obtain abnormal mutation effects. Yi Feng's first choice is Victor. 10 chances. Try to brush out some abnormal mutations for Victor. When Victor first stepped into the abnormal mutation pool, he had already obtained an abnormal mutation effect when he came out again. This time Victor obtained a random abnormal mutation, Super Speed. Super Speed. Gain 10% attack speed. After releasing the skill, gain 15% stackable attack speed. The effect lasts until the end of the battle. The effect of Super Speed is pretty good. However, for Victor, the attack speed is fixed, and the attack speed increase obtained will only be converted into spell strength. The effect of this abnormal mutation is not too good. There are still 9 opportunities to use. Yi Feng decided to refresh Victor's abnormal mutation again. So Yi Feng commanded Victor to enter the abnormal mutation pool again. This time Victor obtained a random abnormal mutation, Wolf Companion. Wolf Companion. Summon 2 wolves, with 30% of the hero's attack power. This abnormal mutation is still not very useful. Yi Feng did not choose to stay, and directly chose the 3rd refresh. This time Victor obtained a random abnormal mutation, Astral Rhythm. Hearing this name, Yi Feng only felt a little familiar, and some memories came to his mind. If my memory is correct, this Celestial Rhythm is the abnormal mutation that allowed Midi to kill God with 1 mana. Yi Feng quickly checked the effect of Celestial Rhythm. Celestial Rhythm. no longer gains mana, instead, releases its skills every 4 seconds. It's really this thing. Yifeng wanted to jump up excitedly at this time. One skill every 4 seconds, and the control time after each skill released by Victor has long exceeded 4 seconds. What a concept. That is to say, Victor can basically release the second skill immediately after one skill ends. The ultimate move is seamlessly connected throughout the whole process, and the damage of the 3-star 6-cost Victor is also exaggerated enough. The combination of this abnormal mutation and Victor is not as simple, as 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. This makes Victor's strength at least doubled several times. There are 7 abnormal mutations left. Yifeng once again commanded Leona to enter the abnormal mutation pool. After 5 refreshes, Yifeng finally got a desired abnormal mutation. Nably Essence. After each skill is released by the chess piece, the release cost of the skill is reduced by 10%, up to 40%. Leona's mana limit is 65 points. Once the abnormal mutation is fully stacked, only more than 30 points of mana are needed to release the skill. This can make Leona's skills release faster, and with the attack recovery of the adaptive helmet, Leona is likely to achieve seamless skills. There are only 3 abnormal mutation opportunities left. After Yifeng looked around the chess pieces, he finally chose to refresh the abnormal mutation for Renata in the back row. This time, I was lucky. The last abnormal mutation just happened to produce a useful mutation effect. Shrinking Ray. Attacks and skills will shrink the enemy, thereby reducing the enemy's damage by 5%, can be stacked up to 40%. This is a debuff state, which means that when facing various enemies in the future, as long as Renata attacks a few times, the damage caused by these enemies will only be 60% of the original. This is a disguised way to provide high damage reduction for all members. After the 10 abnormal mutation opportunities were completed, Yifeng's strength was further improved. At this time, Yifeng noticed a problem. The honor value that Draven had obtained today was directly maxed out at 5,000 points. In other words, the monster that looked very much like the Eye of the Void directly provided Yifeng with 5,000 points of honor. It seems that the reward from the Big Eye is really good. Wait, the void energy of the corpse was not absorbed. Yifeng felt distressed when he said this. If all of this is absorbed, a lot of energy will definitely be obtained. Combined with the equipment maker of the past, it is estimated that several more pieces of divine equipment can be made. Thinking of this, Yifeng suddenly felt distressed. But Yifeng never expected that 5,000 points of honor were not that the monster was only worth 5,000 points of honor, but that the upper limit that Yifeng could obtain was only 5,000 points. If Yifeng knew about this, he would probably feel distressed for a long time. After finishing everything, Yifeng looked at the time. It was noon, the sun was shining directly on his head, and it was also the time when the shadow was the smallest. This time is just right, just in time to clean up the traitors. Yifeng contacted Zhuang Hao first and checked with him to confirm who the information obtained from the survivors in the Secret Realm match was spread to. Zhuang Hao had previously passed on the news of Yifeng's weakness in batches with different contents. Now we just need to check it out to know which people have problems. After some checking, Zhuang Hao found the corresponding people and gave the list to Yifeng. There are more than 50 people in total, and only these people have the information that the prop used by Yifeng is called Potential Overdraft Potion. This group of people is the key suspect, so they are all arranged in one group. One of them is named Jiang Wenqin. He is the war zone administrator of the T541 war zone of Yin country, and he is also the person that Yifeng suspects has leaked Yifeng's information to the Ria country. Chapter 327. Although he had a goal, Yifeng still needed to confirm it in order to convince the other party. The survivors in the war zones of other countries were all in the Scarlet Land. That is to say, as long as Yifeng knew the specific coordinates, he could rely on the reality crack to go there, and in the Secret Realm match, Yifeng had asked some information from these people. Knowing that there was a survivor in the Sun Never Sets country who had a cross-border chat channel, many traders from Yin country were pulled into it by him. That is to say, as long as he found this person, he could basically catch all the traders from Yin country, and Yifeng happened to know the coordinate area of that person. Yifeng now had more than 700 gold coins, and directly bought 100 more victors, and did not buy new barracks. After all, even if a new 3-star 5 cost was made, without enough gold coins, the improvement in combat power would be limited. After getting it done, Yifeng took out the reality crack and rushed to the coordinate he knew. At this time, Theodore, who had just returned to the base from the Secret Realm, asked for information in the transnational chat channel he created. They got the news from some traders in Yin country, and Yifeng fell into a weak state. This Secret Realm match may be the last chance to kill Yifeng. I don't know who can match Yifeng from Yin country. If not, We have to take advantage of this last day's opportunity to gather a group of people again to kill him. Just as he was lying on the sun lounger, basking in the sun and thinking, he glanced out of the corner of his eye and seemed to see a group of figures walking towards him. Who is it? Could it be John nearby? The two bases were only more than 20 kilometers apart, so it was possible that they would come to visit. Just as he stood up to greet the neighbor, he found that the person who came was not John. It was an Asian with black hair and yellow skin. This made Theodore a little confused. He didn't know who this person was, and when he came here, "Who are you?" Looking at the large number of chess pieces behind the other party, Theodore knew that the visitor was mostly not good. While scolding the other party, he also hurriedly called the chess pieces to move closer to him. The other party did not speak, just walked up straight, and then commanded a chess piece to come forward. Theodore had never seen that chess piece before, and the whole person looked more like a robot, holding a staff in his hand and a shawl behind him. He looked a bit like a gentleman. A chess piece? What exactly was the other party's plan? When Theodore was wondering, the chess piece he didn't know took action. Suddenly, a chaotic storm appeared around, and Theodore showed a shocked expression on his face. All his chess pieces were pulled up into the sky at this moment, and then gathered towards the center of the storm. The chess piece holding the staff moved gracefully like a magician. When all the chess pieces were gathered together, the chess piece waved the staff again, and suddenly the chess pieces exploded with 5-digit terrifying damage. These chess pieces were killed instantly without any resistance. This scene made Theodore pale, and he dared not accept this reality at all. What a joke! All his chess pieces were killed instantly by one of the opponent's chess pieces? Who is this person? Why is he so powerful? Who are you? Theodore took a few steps back and fell to the ground accidentally, and kept backing away. My name is Yifeng, and I want to ask you for something. Hearing the name Yifeng, Theodore's pupils widened, and he could hardly believe his ears. What a joke! Yifeng of Yin country? Isn't he a chess piece in a weak state? One chess piece can kill all his own chess pieces. You call this a weak state? At this time, Theodore stood up tremblingly, and his teeth couldn't help trembling. What do you want? Don't kill me! His legs were shaking at this time. He naturally knew the name Yifeng, which was like a demon. And he had done a lot of bad things, so he was naturally guilty, and even more afraid. I heard that you have a prop for a cross-border chat channel. I want that thing. Yifeng didn't waste words, and directly said the purpose of coming here. Hearing that Yifeng wanted this thing, Theodore's heart sank. It seemed that Yifeng must have obtained the information. But what puzzled him was that when Yifeng came to his war zone, why was there no invasion prompt? If he heard the invasion prompt, he would have escaped long ago, and would not have been caught by Yifeng at all. However, he could never imagine that Yifeng did not come to invade. But there was a prop that could travel freely in the Scarlet Land. I give you 10 seconds to think. 10. 9. Yifeng's tone was so cold that it carried the breath of hell. This made Theodore realize that he was in danger. Even if he handed over the things, the other party would not let him go, and this time, the other party directly attacked his base, and he couldn't run away even if he wanted to. Damn it! What should he do? While thinking, Theodore asked Yifeng for some reason, after giving you the things, can you let me go? He didn't have any hope at first. But he never expected that after asking this question, Yifeng actually stopped counting, nodded seriously, and agreed to his request. Can you really let him go? Theodore still couldn't believe it. But when he thought that if he died, he would have nothing, so he decided to give it a last gamble. Soon, he took out a prop like a token. Transnational Chat Channel Management Order. The holder can create and manage a transnational chat channel. Yifeng checked the prop and didn't take it directly. This made Theodore panic immediately. The other party would not change his mind at the last minute, and would kill him directly if he didn't want this thing. Thinking of this, Theodore bit his lips tightly, and tore off a lot of skin on his lips. Pull me into the transnational chat channel you created. Hearing Yifeng's request, Theodore didn't know what Yifeng was planning. He didn't have time to think calmly, just nodded mechanically. He directly chose to pull Yifeng into the transnational chat channel. At this time, in the transnational chat channel, a group of people were asking if anyone had met Yifeng from Yin country, and whether he had killed him. Even if he didn't kill him, he had to severely injure Yifeng. Just as they were discussing, a prompt in the chat channel stunned everyone. Theodore from the Sun Never Sets invited Yifeng from Yin country to join the chat channel. This message stunned everyone, as if they were struck by lightning. Yifeng looked at the content in the chat channel, and sent a message to the channel. It seems that everyone misses me very much, so I will visit them one by one later. Chapter 328. As soon as Yifeng's message was released, Everyone in the chat channel was dumbfounded. Especially those traitors from Yin country, who had previously been clamoring loudly and hoped that everyone could quickly kill Yifeng. But when Yifeng really appeared, they were so silent that they dared not speak at all. "At Theodore, why did you bring him in? Did you betray us?" Someone angrily questioned Theodore. However, Theodore was controlled by Yifeng at this time. Although he saw the message in the chat channel, he did not dare to respond to anything. He was afraid that if he was not careful, he would anger Yifeng and bring about a fatal disaster. At this time, he did not dare to breathe, for fear that Yifeng would be unhappy and attack him. And in the chat channel, with the addition of Yifeng, everyone panicked. "Very good, I've written down the list, and I come find you guys later." After saying this, Yifeng no longer paid attention to the people in the chat channel. At this time, Yifeng looked at the token in Theodore's hand. After taking it and putting it in his backpack, Yifeng took out the reality crack and left directly from here. After seeing Yifeng leave, Theodore dared to breathe deeply. At this moment, he felt that he was truly alive. Yifeng of Yin country was too scary, just like a devil, faced with other people's questioning of him. He didn't say anything, just left a sentence, and then exited the cross-border chat channel. That person can appear across war zones without anyone noticing. May God bless everyone. At this time, Jiang Wenqin, a traitor in the cross-border chat channel, saw this sentence and the news that Theodore had exited the chat channel, and immediately felt that something was wrong, especially the sentence that Yifeng can appear across war zones, which made his back cold. It was as if Yifeng was standing behind him at this moment. This thought immediately made him sweat coldly, and he quickly stood up and looked back. Fortunately, there was nothing behind him, and everything was safe. This made him breathe a sigh of relief. It must not be that powerful. This Theodore must have been talking nonsense after being invaded. In Jiang Wenqin's opinion, it must be Yifeng who invaded the war zone of the Sun Never Sets country, so he could control Theodore. The problem now is that Yifeng also joined the cross-border chat channel. People who have communicated with Yin country and foreign war zones must have been known by Yifeng. However, things in the chat channel cannot be screenshot and sent out, and it is difficult for Yifeng to make others believe it. Even if Yifeng came to blame himself at that time, the worst that could happen was that he would never admit it. Could he still kill him by force? Thinking of this, Jiang Wenqin felt relieved. This time, there won't be too much trouble. At most, everyone can just quit the cross-border chat channel. Just when Jiang Wenqin retracted his gaze, he found that a group of people appeared not far in front of him. The one walking in the front was a handsome young man. When he got closer, Jiang Wenqin realized that the people following behind were all the person's chess pieces. Jiang Wenqin immediately recognized that the person was none other than Yifeng. What a joke. Yifeng really appeared in his base? What Theodore said was actually true. Jiang Wenqin felt his legs trembling, and kept calling his chess pieces to come closer, and at the same time took out a useless weapon, and scolded Yifeng. "Why are you in my base? What do you want to do?" However, facing his scolding, Yifeng didn't pay any attention at all. There is no need for a reason to clean up traitors. Just a list is enough. The survivors of Yin country who appeared in the cross-border chat channel are 100% traitors. Nothing, just cleaning up the traitors. Yifeng's words were very casual, as if he was not here to deal with the traitors, but more like kicking a stray dog to death on the roadside. Jiang Wenqin's face was gloomy. Yifeng was able to kill Theodore and come back safely. That means the so-called weakness does not exist at all. He didn't have the confidence to beat Yifeng. He had to pretend to be calm and asked Yifeng, "Why do you slander me?" At the same time, he sent a message in the chat channel of the Yin country war zone administrator. "Yifeng is crazy. He wants to eliminate dissidents and insists on saying that I am a traitor and came to my base to kill." Jiang Wenqin's message attracted everyone's attention in the war zone chat channel. Everyone had just returned from the secret realm, and when they heard the news, they hurried to ask what was going on. The most intense reaction was from those who had something to hide. They immediately defined Yifeng as a retaliatory attack. They said that if everyone disagreed, Yifeng would take action against those who disagreed. These remarks were very unfavorable to Yifeng. Shuanghao, who knew the truth, also quickly spoke up to defend Yifeng, saying that he had discovered that Jiang Wenqin had privately had dealings with survivors in war zones of other countries. However, when facing these people and asking them to produce evidence, Shuanghao was silent. Although everyone knew these things, it was not an easy thing to produce definite evidence. At this time, Jiang Wenqin looked at Yifeng with a smug expression. "Yifeng, even if you know, what can you do? You have no evidence. Who would believe you if you said we were traitors? If you really dared to do anything to me, you will be condemned by thousands of people. Jiang Wenqin was sure that Yifeng would not dare to do anything to him in public, so he was very proud. However, he thought too simply. I don't need evidence to clean up the traitors. I will kill them. If anyone is dissatisfied, he is welcome to come back and kill them. After Yifeng said this, he commanded the chess pieces to attack. In just a moment, all of Jiang Wenqin's chess pieces were killed instantly. This method frightened Jiang Wenqin. He panicked at this time. Yifeng might really kill him. No, you can't kill me. Facing the threat of death, Jiang Wenqin had already started to talk nonsense. What's the point of his saying that he couldn't kill? Not long after, Jiang Wenqin was sent down by Yifeng. In the chat channel of the Yin Kingdom War Zone, everyone noticed that Jiang Wenqin had disappeared from the member list. This means that Jiang Wenqin is really dead. The chat channel exploded immediately, and a large group of people shouted for Yifeng to come out and give an explanation. There are also some people who have long been fed up with Jiang Wenqin and other capitulationists. They now support Yifeng and say that it is better to kill such a spineless person. Even if he is not a traitor now, he may become a traitor one day in the future. Amid the discussion of the crowd, Yifeng finally spoke in the chat channel. His words were simple, but they frightened countless traitors. I will clean up the traitors of Yin country, and I don't need to explain to any of you. Chapter 329. Yifeng didn't want to pay any attention to these people's questions. He just followed the list on the transnational chat channel and harvested the lives of these traitors one by one. More than 100 people in total were all killed by Yifeng. This day was a bloody day. At the beginning, some people scolded Yifeng, but when the members in the chat channel decreased one by one, they were completely panicked. The voices of abuse became less and less. Later, there was only silence. They could oppose Yifeng, but they had to respect and fear Yifeng's strength. After clearing all the traitors, it was already afternoon. Yifeng suddenly remembered his equipment forging device of the past. After killing a scarlet monster, he also gained a lot of energy by killing the 3 scarlet monsters later. This energy was enough to forge 3 more divine clothes of the past. Because he was too busy before, he almost forgot about this matter. Now that I have some free time, I can see what kind of equipment from the past I can create. The current energy can create equipment number 3. I didn't expect that the stored energy is enough to create 3 pieces of equipment from the past. Create them all. Yifeng didn't hesitate and decided to create all 3 pieces of equipment to see what treasures he can get this time. The first generation of Dragon Claws and the first generation of Thorn Armor last time have greatly improved Yifeng's tankiness. The virtual screen that appeared this time was a number of long swords of different shapes, all of which looked like output props. What could it be? As the 3 phantoms continued to solidify, Yifeng also heard the answer. The results of this creation are Curse Blade, Silent Blade, Sword Breaker. Hearing these 3 names, Yifeng felt somewhat familiar, but he couldn't remember what they were at the first time. Those were 3 weapons of different colors, but the colors were different. Green, blue, and yellow. All 3 weapons have different effects. After checking, Yifeng was immediately in ecstasy. Curse Blade. When the carrier attacks, there is a 20% chance that the enemy's maximum health, attack power, spell strength, armor, and magic resistance cap will be reduced to 66% of the original, and the effect lasts for 1 minute. This is the Green Curse Blade effect, which weakens the enemy's attribute value. This effect is equivalent to reducing the enemy's strength by at least 30%, and this is to modify the upper limit, that is, the reduction of armor and magic resistance will not conflict with the weakening of armor. If the enemy has 1,000 points of armor at the beginning, then after being attacked by the Cursed Blade, only 660 points of armor will be left. Then these 660 points of armor will be weakened by the Obsidian Cutter. And the upper limit of health is only 66% of the original, which is not only a high output, but also makes the chess pieces with high recovery effects unable to recover this part of the lost health. Silence Blade. When the carrier attacks, there is a 20% chance to silence the enemy for 2 seconds, and no skills can be released during the silence. The blue Silence Blade is also very effective, although it is only 2 seconds of silence. But according to the 20% probability, it can be silenced once every 5 times on average. Theoretically, it only takes about 3 attacks per second, and the silence can be seamlessly connected throughout the whole process. Of course, these are just in theory. Sometimes Europeans can silence the enemy with every strike. And some unlucky chieftains may not be able to trigger silence even after 10 strikes, let alone 5 strikes. Swordbreaker. When the bearer attacks, there is a 20% chance that the enemy will be disarmed for 3 seconds, and the bearer cannot attack during the disarming period. This effect is even more powerful. The blue silent blade in front prevents the enemy from releasing skills to attack. And now this yellow weapon can prevent the enemy from attacking. If silence and disarming are triggered together, no matter how powerful the enemy is, he will only become a living target. After all, there are only two ways to output. Then the best piece to match this equipment is naturally the chess piece with the fastest attack speed. Speaking of attack speed, Yifeng naturally thought of a chess piece. That is the Twilight Berserker with no upper limit on attack speed. There is no upper limit to the attack speed. With a sheep knife and these three pieces of equipment, as long as you don't die in the early stage, the attack speed will break through the sky in the later stage. With dozens of knives per second, the probability of triggering these three pieces of equipment must be 100%. At that time, no matter what the enemy is, they can only become living targets and be ravaged by Yifeng. Thinking of this, Yifeng did not hesitate and changed the equipment of Twilight Berserker. The original three pieces of equipment, Ginsu's Rage Blade, Steadfast Heart, and Berserker Armor, were retained. The remaining three equipment slots were replaced with the three-piece set of Starfall Blade, Silence Blade, and Disarming Blade. After this operation, the functionality of Twilight Berserker can be said to be maximized. Wait until the god of the internet, Garen, gives Twilight Berserker a bond modification in a few days, and Twilight Berserker also gets the effect of the Inspector bond. Then his tankiness can be further improved, and it will be difficult to die at that time. Looking at the three new pieces of equipment, Yifeng's mouth was filled with pride. This three-piece set was from the S1 season, and was deleted by the designer a long time ago. I didn't expect to be able to play the three-piece set in the survival game. And these three pieces of equipment together are really terrible, unless the chess piece carrying the three-piece set is killed in seconds at the beginning of the game. Otherwise, anyone who comes can only stare blankly, and be silenced, disarmed, and weakened. Attributes turned into sandbags and beaten. After getting these three pieces of equipment, Yifeng felt that no matter how powerful monsters he encountered in the future, it would no longer be a problem. In the days that followed, Yifeng was very chic. Every day, he went to the real battlefield to brush the void monsters to gain honor points and gold coins. Then he randomly found a few people in the little Sakura war zone to send warmth. If he was free, he would go out hunting. On the 42nd day, Yifeng got the new hex enhancement Quick Thinking. Quick Thinking, it can be turned on actively. After it is turned on, the barracks construction interface can be refreshed unlimited times within 1 minute. In other words, as long as there are enough gold coins, you can even instantly fill up all the 5-cost barracks. The gold coins were all kept by Yifeng. Except for occasionally buying some other 5-cost barracks builders, they were basically no longer consumed. When enough gold coins are saved, Yifeng is ready to fill up all 3-star 5-cost or even 3-star 6-cost at once. A few days later, a big earthquake was heard. After the 45th day of the Secret Realm matching, the forest base was permanently closed. No one can go to the forest base to get supplies. Especially some survivors with scarce supplies. They are even more anxious. After all, the monsters in the Scarlet Land will not explode magic balls to obtain supplies after being killed. Does the survival game want everyone to die? Someone raised this question. Regarding this matter, Yifeng understands that this is the 50th day of the survival game. The National War Zone War is about to start completely. Chapter 330. During this period, in addition to Quick Thinking, Yifeng also gained another hex enhancement, Superstar 2. Superstar 2. The chess pieces of the team cause 7% extra damage, and for every 3-star barracks in the team, this damage will increase by 5%. And the number of 3-star barracks owned by Yifeng is as many as 11. Darius, Draven, Amumu, Renata, Rel, Leona, Vladimir, Crow Swain, LeBlanc, Malzahar, Victor. In other words, the extra damage bonus is already 62%, and this value can be further improved. On the night of the 49th day, many people fell into insomnia and couldn't sleep. And tomorrow is the battle of the National War Zone, and no one knows what it will be like. Will there be danger? Will there be large-scale casualties? And can they survive smoothly? These made everyone unable to sleep. Yifeng looked at the number of gold coins in his backpack. After so many days, he already had 6,357 gold coins, and the base level has been raised to the highest level 10 by Yifeng. The probability of 5-cost cards has reached 25%, and the probability of 6-cost cards has increased again, almost easy to get. And what makes Yifeng most excited is that in these days, he has used Ren'ai and Smithy to make a high alchemy baron, and the number of glimmer layers has reached 790. That is to say, tomorrow he can easily get the last equipment, the high-dimensional heirloom. Yifeng looked at his barracks and directly dismantled the 2 barracks of Ren'ai and Smithy. For the remaining barracks, Yifeng planned to build as many 3-star and 5-cost as possible. During this time, Yifeng also got a few crown equipments again. Only then did he know that the number of barracks in the base had reached the upper limit at 30, and no more barracks could be built. The chessboard of the Golden Shovel game has a total of 28 empty spaces, but I don't know why the upper limit in the survival game has increased to 30. Yifeng has currently built a total of 25 barracks, and the remaining barracks can be built 5 more. Of course, some previous barracks can also be demolished to get more barracks grids, but the most important thing at the moment is to take down all the 3-star and 5-cost ones. Yifeng opened the barracks construction interface, and there was a small prompt in the upper right corner. Whether to use quick thinking. This time, Yifeng did not hesitate and directly chose to turn on quick thinking. Suddenly, the refresh button in the lower right corner lit up, allowing Yifeng to refresh without limit. The time was very short, only 1 minute. So Yifeng did not hesitate at all. After refreshing, he glanced and saw only 2 5-cost cards on it. Yifeng didn't even have time to see which barracks chess piece it was, and he directly chose to buy it and continue refreshing. A 6-cost barracks appeared. Yifeng bought it again, then it kept refreshing. Soon, the 1-minute quick thinking ended, and the number of barracks Yifeng bought was still a lot. In addition to these, there were also the refresh times saved by DD Block these days, and the refresh times of the notes of the Fairy of the Chinsa, which Yifeng also did not use. Continue. At this time, Yifeng didn't care how many gold coins were left, nor did he check how many chess pieces were left. Anyway, he kept brushing until the 5-cost barracks did not appear, which meant that Yifeng had taken all the chess pieces. After using Sona's advanced notes once, the interface that should have 5 5-cost barracks appeared, but only 4 5-cost barracks and 1 4-cost barracks appeared. At this moment, Yifeng knew that he had finally emptied all the barracks. After buying all the 5-cost barracks above, Yifeng noticed a lot of survival game prompts at this time. It is detected that the survivor can synthesize 3-star Jace. Whether to synthesize. It is detected that the survivor can synthesize 3-star Jinx. Whether to synthesize. It is detected that the survivor can synthesize 3-star Caitlyn. Whether to synthesize. It is detected that the survivor can synthesize 3-star Mordekaiser. Whether to synthesize. It is detected that the survivor can synthesize 3-star Seneca. Whether to synthesize. It is detected that the survivor can synthesize 3-star Rambo. Whether to synthesize. It is detected that the survivor can synthesize 3-star Mel. Whether to synthesize. There are 7 prompts in total, all of which are 3-star prompts. In this wave, Yifeng cleared all the barracks in one go. After Yifeng chose all yes, golden lights lit up one after another. All of them were golden lights synthesized by 3 stars, rendering Yifeng's entire base into a golden ocean. Mel and Sevica had already built them, and there were still 5 barracks left that had not been built and recruited. This was exactly the same as the number of free barracks left in Yifeng's barracks. It was just right to complete the construction of these 5 3-star, 5-cost barracks. After confirming the barracks, 1 golden barracks after another rose from the ground in Yifeng's base. Jace, Jinx, Caitlyn, Mordekaiser, Rambo. A streak of golden light represents the appearance of a 3-star 5-cost barracks. After the 5 barracks were built, Yifeng recruited a chess piece for each barracks, and then equipped them with 6 pieces of divine equipment. 5 new barracks plus the original Sevica and Mel upgraded to 3 stars. Yifeng's 3-star barracks increased to 7 again. The additional damage effect of Superstar Hex Enhancement has also increased by 35%. That is to say, it has increased directly from the original 62% to 97%. It has almost doubled. Not only that, Yifeng can continue to upgrade several barracks to 3 stars in the future. This Superstar Hex bond is likely to become the most powerful hex in Yifeng's hands. For example, among the current 6-cost chess pieces, there is also a Werewolf Warwick. Yifeng has only brushed 7 Werewolf Warwicks so far, and there are still 2 that have not been brushed. But Yifeng was not going to continue to grind, but took out the barracks replicator directly from his backpack. During this time, Yifeng hunted various strongholds and obtained several barracks replicators. Now the number of barracks replicators is as many as 11. After using 2 barracks replicators, Yifeng heard a new prompt again. It was detected that the survivors can synthesize 3-star Warwick. Whether to synthesize. With the fusion of the Warwick Barracks Builder, a golden 3-star 6-cost Werewolf Warwick Barracks Builder appeared in Yifeng's hand. However, the number of barracks is now full. To build a 3-star Warwick Barracks, some of the previous barracks need to be sacrificed. Yifeng looked at the barracks building complex in the base, looking up and down, and finally saw a target. Just use it to replace the 3-star werewolf. This target is none other than the 1-cost barracks Aurelia. Chapter 331. The bond of Aurelia Barracks is Blue Hair Squad and Sentinel. The Blue Hair Squad bond requires at least 3 pieces to activate the bond, and the effect of this bond is only 20% attack power and spell strength bonus. And this bonus is limited to the Blue Hair Squad. For Yifeng, this bond does not have much effect. Although the Sentinel bond has helped Yifeng to put together 6 Sentinel bonds, it can be said to be indispensable. But among this pile of 3-star 5-cost pieces, Rambo happens to have the same Sentinel bond. After Aurelia is dismantled, it will not affect the original 6 Sentinel bonds, so after Aurelia is dismantled, there is no weakening of Yifeng's bond. After the demolition, Yifeng built the last barracks, the 3-star 6-cost Werewolf Warwick barracks. So far, Yifeng's barracks have all been completed. Even the extra damage bonus of Superstar has reached 102%. All 29 barracks are ready. In terms of bonds, God of Wealth, God of Network, Fairy Chinsa, Twilight Wrath, and Saint of Painting are special bonds. And the chess pieces are a series of small bonds such as 9 Iron Blood Conquerors, 6 Prophets, 6 Sentinels, 5 Black Roses, 4 Supervisors, and 4 Mages. Yifeng's bonds and chess pieces have reached the strongest that can be achieved at this stage. For the remaining 9 magic balls, Yifeng directly copied Fairy Chinsa from 1 star to 3 stars. Superstar's extra damage is increased by 5% again, and the extra damage increase of 107% is enough to stand out from the crowd. After doing all this, I looked at the remaining 5,834 gold coins. Of course, I had to replenish the troops again. There are only 150 victors at present, so I naturally spent another 300 gold coins to recruit 50 victors to reach the upper limit. Then, there is the Mel Barracks. Now there is only 1 Mel, so it is naturally filled up directly. 199 Mels require 1194 gold coins. This number is an astronomical figure for most survivors. It can even be said that except Yifeng, no one else can come up with so many gold coins. After recruiting Mel, there are still 4,340 gold coins left. Another direct consumption of 1,200 gold coins. Another 200 werewolves appeared in Yifeng's base. So far, Yifeng's 3-star 6-cost chess pieces have been fully filled. And there are still 3,140 gold coins left. Among the 3-star 5-cost heroes, there is only 1 Rambo, Mordekaiser, Jace, Caitlyn, Jinx, and Sona, the Heart Fairy. Yifeng recruited 99 of each, bringing their total to 100. The last 170 gold coins are left. Among the 3-star 5-cost heroes, there are only 4 Savikas, but the current gold coins are not enough for Yifeng to use. Of the last 170 gold coins, 100 gold coins need to be kept to earn interest, and only the last 70 gold coins can be used. The last 70 gold coins were transformed into 14 Savikas, increasing the number of Savikas to 18. In this way, Yifeng's gold coins accumulated for nearly 10 days were completely consumed. Instead, there are 3-star barracks shining with golden light, and a large number of 3-star 5-cost or even 6-cost chess pieces. These gold coins did not disappear, but turned into the strongest fighting force to continue to accompany Yifeng. The only regret is that among the 5-cost chess pieces, Hui, Urgot, and Garen, the god of the future, in the god-given barracks, have only reached 2 stars. By relying on the Copy River Scroll Altar, and their strength is not outstanding. After finishing everything, Yifeng fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, the survival game officially came to the 50th day. Congratulations to all survivors for successfully surviving the 50th day, and the daily gold coins have been issued. Survivor, Yifeng. Base level, LV10. The current maximum number of barracks that can be built, 10 plus 19. Base upgrade, max. Yifeng has reached the upper limit of level 10 in terms of base upgrade. The remaining gold coins only need to recruit new chess pieces. After all, there is no further improvement in the barracks. The National War Zone will officially start at 9 a.m. Killing survivors from other countries will earn material points, which can be used to exchange for various materials. Survivors will be forced to enter at 9 o'clock, and can also enter the battlefield in advance. Hearing this prompt, Yifeng immediately understood the significance of the previous closure of the forest base in the survival game. It forces everyone to be unable to obtain various survival materials by killing monsters. If you want to survive, kill survivors from other countries as much as possible in the war zone battlefield. For many people, this news is not sure whether it is a blessing or a curse. But for Yifeng, he is not too worried. Just when Yifeng was about to make preparations before departure, a reminder sound came to his ears that he had never heard before. The 3-star Chinsa Fairy special effect has been triggered, and gold coins X400 are obtained this time. When Yifeng heard this news, he felt like the sound of nature. I didn't expect that after Chinsa became 3-star, she could also explode gold coins every round like in the game of Golden Shovel, and the number of coins given at a time is as full as 400. These gold coins plus the daily interest and gold coins from the 3-crowned Easter eggs, Yifeng's gold coins have reached more than 700 again. Not only that, at this time, another prompt sounded in Yifeng's ears again. The number of glimmer layers has reached 820 layers, whether to receive the glimmer reward. The number of glimmer layers has finally exceeded 800 layers. There is only one reward after 800 layers, that is the high-dimensional heirloom. High-dimensional heirloom, add 5,000 health points. Special effect, create a portable anomaly point, and summon a 3-star 5-cost chess piece every 3 seconds. This equipment can only be equipped to the Alchemist Baron chess piece. The attributes of this equipment are extremely amazing. This equipment is naturally the most suitable for Sevika. After the replacement, Sevika's equipment became Titan's Oath, Blessing Draining Sword, Strucker's Ultimate Shield, Zenith Blade, High Dimension Heirloom, and Night Blade. The first 4 Warrior Light equipments ensure strength, and the last Night Blade increases fault tolerance. And the High Dimension Heirloom is the most core equipment. As long as you can hold on, theoretically you can summon 23-star 5-cost chess pieces in 1 minute. The combat power on your side can be increased as you fight more. If the battle goes on, the number of Yifeng's chess pieces may break through the sky, and it is really called a huge army. The survivors of various countries are all preparing for the next National War Zone War at this time. Many survivors used up all their gold coins at once, throwing them away without considering the future interest. And Yifeng also exchanged all the millions of magic essences in his backpack for various magic scrolls. After distributing various magic scrolls to everyone in the war zone, he directly entered the battlefield with his chess pieces. Chapter 332. After entering the battlefield, a map appeared in Yifeng's mind. This map is very large, but most of the areas are black and the situation is not clear. The only area that is lit has a few small words on the map Yingguo War Zone. This area is the starting point for the survivors in the entire Yingguo War Zone. Yifeng has seen many survivors coming here at this moment, and many of them are faces that Yifeng has never seen before. There are still more than 500 survivors in Yifeng's war zone, and there are more than 9,000 war zones in Yingguo. According to this ratio, the total number of remaining people in Yingguo should be close to 5 million. But in the chat channel of the War Zone War, it shows that the total number of survivors in the Yingguo War Zone is only a little more than 3 million. In other words, the number of casualties in many war zones is more terrifying than that in Yifeng's war zone. The total chat channel of the War Zone War can only see the number of survivors, and only the war zone administrator can speak. In addition, everyone has a sub-channel for their own war zone. This channel allows everyone to speak. Fight, either live or die. An old and long voice sounded, echoing throughout the battlefield. Although it was not said explicitly, this sentence was enough for everyone to guess a lot of information. It seems that anyone who is not from our Yin country is an enemy. Someone sent this message in the War Zone chat channel. This sentence naturally attracted the approval of many people. Those surrenderists before have been killed by Yifeng and dared not show up. The situation is not clear yet. Everyone assigned teams, and then organize people in their own war zones to explore outside first. Someone made this suggestion. This is quite reasonable. After all, now that everyone is fighting a war as a country, division of labor and cooperation is naturally the best choice. Many people began to propose their own battle plans, hoping to make this war more beneficial to Yin country. After a discussion, someone suddenly tagged Yifeng. At Yifeng, you are the strongest force in our Yin country. Please tell us how to arrange it, and see where you will lead the people in your war zone to explore. This question is not only what the spokesperson wants to know, but also what others are curious about. Even in their hearts, they wish they could act with Yifeng. Acting with the strongest person in Yin country, at least safety is guaranteed. There are many teleportation points in our area. I checked the map, and there are more than 100 roads leading to the unknown. Big Boss Yifeng, please lead people to take one road. Everyone was talking, waiting for Yifeng's answer. But no one expected Yifeng's answer. It's okay. I be responsible for 20 roads, and you can explore the rest. Yifeng's words stunned everyone. One person is responsible for 20 roads? What a joke. This is a war between national war zones. No matter how strong a person is, if he encounters survivors from other war zones when he explores, the other party will fight with the whole country. No matter how strong he is, he will have to retreat. What's more, Yifeng said that one person is responsible for 20 roads. Does he have to divide his chess pieces into 20 groups? Wouldn't that mean there would be only dozens of chess pieces in each branch? Does a few dozen chess pieces want to kill their way through the battlefield? Isn't it a bit too whimsical? Boss, do you want to reconsider? Someone suggested tactfully, obviously not reassured about Yi Feng's statement that one person would go to 20 roads. Shuang Hao also bubbled at this time. After seeing Yi Feng's bold words, he still made a suggestion. Brother Yi Feng, you have to go to a few roads. How about 5 roads? After all, you are our highest combat power. You can't lose it here at will. Faced with these concerned questions, Yi Feng smiled. Choosing 20 roads by yourself is still a modest statement. Even if there are more roads, it is not a big problem for Yi Feng. Okay, I will choose the 20 roads in the southernmost part of the map. See you later. As he said, Yi Feng began to distribute his chess pieces. Darius, Draven, Leona, Malzahar, Victor, Mel, and Werewolf all have 200 full equipped. Divide into 20 roads, and distribute 10 of these chess pieces on each road. The remaining Sona, Rambo, Mordekaiser, Jace, Caitlyn, and Jinx have 100 pieces, and 5 pieces are assigned to each line. The remaining pieces with fewer numbers, such as LeBlanc, Sevica, Morgana, and Renata, are randomly assigned to a wave. The only Twilight Berserker was led by Yi Feng himself. After the distribution, Yi Feng gave some props that improved the strength of the pieces to the intelligent pieces. He also gave them some magic scrolls. I give you the things. Use them if the situation is not right. There is no other requirement, just kill them. As long as they are not Yin with survivors, kill them all. Explore outside for 6 hours. No matter how far you go after 6 hours, you must return. These intelligent chess pieces naturally executed Yi Feng's orders 100%. They all said that they would strictly follow Yi Feng's orders. Soon, 20 troops were ready at the intersection. It was just that it had not officially reached 9 o'clock yet, so they could not continue to move out. Soon, the time came to 9 o'clock. The War of the National War Zone officially began. Survivors from all countries were requested to explore outside on their own. Treasures, enemies, teleportation points, etc. all needed to be fought for. A series of prompts sounded in my ears. It was probably an introduction to some details of the War of the National War Zone. Yi Feng did not listen carefully, and walked out directly with big strides. At the same time, on the map, it can be seen that the maps in all directions are lighting up outward. It means that other people are also exploring out, and the map information obtained by everyone will be shared. Not far away, Yi Feng saw a teleportation array. Without hesitation, he walked up with the chess pieces. After the teleportation array was activated, Yi Feng was teleported to a huge and empty plain area. And at the farthest point of sight, a teleportation array can be vaguely seen. At this time, the teleportation array over there lit up, and people were teleported out continuously. It seems that the war is about to begin. Yi Feng called the chess pieces to rush forward. And on the other side, it was the survivors of South Korea. This should be the public area mentioned in the survival game. After occupying this area, you can get some rewards and gains, and even invade the war zone of other countries through this area. A South Korean survivor exclaimed. A total of more than 100 people came to this area. No matter what problems they encountered, they were confident that they could solve them. Soon, he saw a man rushing over with more than 100 chess pieces in his sight. Which country's survivors are these? More than 100 chess pieces dare to come up and die? This is the common idea of hundreds of South Korean survivors. Chapter 333. Get ready and kill the enemy in front of you. One of the South Korean survivors shouted. The team suddenly burst into laughter. In their opinion, they had hundreds of people and tens of thousands of chess pieces. The more than 100 chess pieces on the other side were simply sheep entering the tiger's mouth and were not worth taking seriously. However, they would soon pay the price of blood for their naive ideas. 10 males walked forward and waved their hands lightly, and countless golden lights appeared on the ground. These golden lights linked the chess pieces of the South Korean country together, and then a face made of golden light appeared on the ground. A pile of chess pieces in the middle was instantly suspended in the air, and then fell with golden light. The surrounding golden light exploded, and a large number of chess pieces were instantly killed, and Victor behaved very elegantly, like a gentleman. With a gentle wave of the staff, a large group of chess pieces were dragged into the air, and then continued to gather towards the center, and finally exploded in an instant, turning into ashes. The werewolf Warwick, who was also 3 stars and 6 mana, was much inferior. Even after 3 stars, his attack was still single target, although it was an instant kill, and he would change targets after killing an enemy. But compared with the other two 3-star 6-mana heroes, his performance was still too inferior. This reminded Yifeng of a joke. When other heroes were using skills to destroy the world, there was a hero who was still hitting people with a beer barrel. In addition to the 3-star 6-mana hero, the remaining 3-star 5-mana heroes also performed very well. The 3-star Jinx's big missile, the 3-star Caitlyn's full-screen bombing of the air carrier, the artillery bombing of Rambo, and the countless portals of the 3-star Jace appeared, which also emitted energy attacks. The 3-star Maud Kaiser even created a netherworld area, where countless energy claws killed the enemy instantly. Sevika, who carried the high-dimensional heirloom, was constantly summoning various 3-star 5-cost chess pieces. Endless and endless, the number of Yifeng's chess pieces even increased. The battlefield was gorgeous. Every time the light came on, countless chess pieces of the enemy were killed. In just a few minutes, all the chess pieces of these people were destroyed. As for those survivors, they were naturally harvested by Yifeng as well. After easily sweeping them away, Yifeng headed all the way to the teleportation array where these people came from. When Yifeng stepped into the teleportation array, a prompt sound came from his ear. This array can go to the South Korean war zone base, and the threat coefficient is extremely high. Do you want to go now? It seems unwise to kill the opponent's lair alone. But these are only for ordinary people. With Yifeng's current strength, even if his troops were divided into 20 parts, he would still have the power to sweep everything. After all, other survivors, even the strongest ones, could only make 3 stars and 4 mana at most. In front of Yifeng's chess pieces, they could not make any waves at all. Yes! When Yifeng chose to go, all the survivors in South Korea received the reminder sound of the survival game. Yifeng, a survivor in the Yen Kingdom War Zone, has entered the South Korea War Zone base. Hearing this reminder sound, many South Koreans were dumbfounded. They didn't know who Yifeng was. But the other party dared to enter the South Korea War Zone alone. He simply didn't want to live. And those War Zone administrators naturally heard of the name Yifeng. After hearing this prompt, their reaction was completely different from other survivors. They immediately fell into a panic. Some people even hurriedly took their chess pieces and tried to escape in a panic. However, they found out in despair. The survival game forbade them to leave unless Yifeng died or left. More than an hour later, 2 prompts sounded in the ears of all survivors. The Yen Kingdom War Zone has completely destroyed the South Korean War Zone, and all survivors in the South Korean War Zone base have died. South Koreans are eliminated, and the remaining survivors are wiped out. In other words, there is no living person in South Koreans. This prompt made countless people who were not in the Yen Kingdom War Zone terrified. What's going on? It's only been more than an hour, and South Koreans have been destroyed? What a joke! Has the strength of Yen Kingdom become so strong? However, this is not the end. Instead, it is a beginning. Yingguo War Zone has completely destroyed Kangaroo War Zone. All survivors in Kangaroo War Zone base were killed. Kangaroo was eliminated, the remaining survivors were wiped out. Another national war zone was destroyed by Yangguo, only more than 10 minutes apart. Yifeng knew that it was most likely that his chess pieces had killed the opponent's nest. A few minutes later, another national war zone was destroyed. Yingguo War Zone has completely destroyed Myanmar-Vietnam War Zone. All survivors in Myanmar-Vietnam War Zone base were killed. Myanmar-Vietnam was eliminated, the remaining survivors were wiped out. In just over an hour, 20 national war zones were declared destroyed, and their personnel were completely wiped out. And all these attackers were Yen country. This made people in other countries completely panic, and most of the survivors in Yen country were confused. What's going on? How come we destroyed so many countries? Can anyone tell me what happened? Is it a system bug? I can't believe it's true. Everyone was talking about it, and at this time, an administrator in the War Zone channel suddenly thought of a possibility, and was shocked by his own guess. However, he still asked the person concerned to confirm in a speculative tone. At Yifeng, the destruction of these war zones couldn't all be done by you. Divide the troops into 20 routes, and exactly 20 countries' war zones were destroyed. I can't think of any other possibilities except you. After this message was sent out, although ordinary survivors could not speak, they could also see this message. At this time, they were like wild animals in a melon field, eager to dig out Yifeng's information quickly. After all, many people don't know the name Yifeng at all. And in the sub-channel of the war zone where Yifeng is located, everyone naturally knows Yifeng's strength. They had already believed in the speculations of others in the main channel. Ding Shiji sighed in the sub-channel at this time. It seems that the gap between us and Boss Yifeng is getting bigger and bigger. Boss Yifeng won the MVP, and we are all the winners. someone said in a joking manner. While everyone was discussing, Yi Feng finally appeared. He gave a positive answer to the previous person's question. If no one else can challenge a national war zone alone, I think it should be my pawns that can do it. Simple words, but made everyone gasp. Yi Feng is too strong. This strength is simply sweeping across the field like a plow. Chapter 334. Even though Yi Feng admitted it himself, everyone still felt like they were dreaming. What a joke. Yi Feng is simply the god of war descending to earth. No, even the god of war may not be better than Yi Feng. Thinking of this, some people even began to doubt themselves. Is there any meaning in their efforts? This is really heartbreaking news. Having said that, everyone didn't really give up. Those who should explore outside should continue to explore. Even if their strength is a little worse than Yi Feng, they should try their best to contribute their own efforts. At this time, Zhuang Hao made a statement in his own war zone subchannel. Brothers, others killed the entire South Korean country alone, and we are going out together in one war zone, and we must at least kill the people in the other war zone. Everyone naturally responded to Zhuang Hao's words. At this time, Yi Feng also continued to add a sentence in the main channel. I will continue to attack. If any of you are in danger, please let your war zone administrator contact me in time, and I will help. These words made everyone feel more confident. Don't be afraid of a hammer. Kill all the survivors in other war zones, even if you can't beat them. As long as you wait for Big Boss Yi Feng to come, you will be able to crush them. Suddenly, the survivors in the Yen State War Zone were very enthusiastic. On the first day, the war in the National War Zone lasted until 8 o'clock in the evening before it was temporarily stopped. The war in the War Zone today is temporarily over, and the war zones of various countries have obtained protection status, and other national war zones cannot invade. Hearing this news, many survivors in non-Yen State War Zones couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. In just 11 hours today, Yen country has completely wiped out more than 60 war zones. At this rate, won't other countries be wiped out soon? This has made many national war zones lose the confidence to resist. Even many people have begun to indulge in various carnivals in the war zone area. It looks like the end of the world. Although Yen country has temporarily entered a truce. But everyone can still come to the national war zone. Many people set up tables and chairs on the roadside, and some even took out their own collections of various delicacies. As long as they see someone passing by, whether they know him or not, they will directly shout, "Brother, let's have a drink together." The entire Yen country war zone is full of joy, even more lively than the new year. The best war zone today is the Yen country war zone, and all members will be rewarded with 10 days survival supplies. Individuals will be rewarded according to their contribution. Please check it out, survivors. 2 prompt sounds in a row. The first one is a reward for all members, and everyone can get it. This makes everyone even more excited after the forest base is closed. Although everyone still has a lot of inventory, it is still a bit worrying for everyone to eat up all the supplies. Now that 15 days of survival supplies have been distributed in one go, it can be regarded as solving some urgent needs. The second reward is calculated separately according to the individual's contribution value. A young man who was originally drinking suddenly stood up excitedly, waving a bottle in his hand, and shouting excitedly to the people around him. Fuck. I killed more than 20 Japanese devils today, and I was rewarded with 50 gold coins. Hearing this, many people looked at this person with envy. 50 gold coins, enough to recruit a lot of chess pieces. Ha ha ha, I got an auxiliary equipment. Obsidian cutter, armor-piercing equipment, good. Someone else shouted, expressing the joy in his heart without any concealment. Ha ha, I got a magic scroll design here, the attributes are good, I will share the extra with you when the time comes, everyone who sees it will get a share. At this time, Yi Feng had already gone to the direction of the real battlefield. Yi Feng almost did not rest, and he could be said to be working day and night. During the day, he killed dozens of survivors in the war zones of various countries, and at night, he went to the real battlefield again to brush the honor value of Wu Kaishan Draven. When Yi Feng came to the real battlefield, he saw that in addition to Lu Shui and Zhao Su, there was another person he had never seen before. Yi Feng, you are finally here. I have missed you several times these days. Can you come with me first? I want to discuss something with you. This man was very excited when he saw Yi Feng coming. Zhao Tianxi had arranged for him to go here to wait for Yi Feng. As a result, Yi Feng ignored him after the previous few times. All of them said that they were too busy and went straight into the channel world of the Void Monster. I don't know what they did inside. He only knew that every time Yi Feng came out, he returned to the Scarlet Land in a hurry. As for the strongest survivors he mentioned who wanted to meet him, Yifeng refused because he was not interested for the time being. Just kidding. We can talk about meeting later, but hunting for strongholds and hunting void monsters every day does not wait for anyone. There is no time to waste. Seeing Yifeng leave without paying attention to him again, the man sighed. He could only shake his head helplessly. He had always been very polite to this newcomer, but he didn't know why the other party always didn't want to pay attention to him. After all, this newcomer was someone that Zhao Tianxi and several other big guys thought could reach the same level as them. There would be no mistake in being polite. After informing Zhao Tianxi of the result, he returned to the battlefield area he occupied again. After all, every time Yifeng came, he basically returned to the Scarlet Land after coming out of the channel space, and would not continue to listen to what he said. On the other side, Zhao Tianxi smiled after receiving the news. This Yifeng is quite interesting. The other 11 people hurriedly asked Zhao Tianxi what was going on. After hearing Zhao Tianxi's original story, one of them was a little dissatisfied. This kid is too arrogant. He really doesn't know how high the sky is, and how deep the earth is. No matter how strong he is, can he solve the source of the void by himself? At that time, everyone still has to cooperate for a win-win situation. Zhao Tianxi shook his head at his companion's complaints. I remember that someone reported before that the survival game of Yifeng's era should be approaching the 50th day recently, and the National War Zone War will start soon. At this point, several of them suddenly showed an expression of sudden enlightenment, and a few others did not react for a while. Zhao Tianxi then continued to remind, the National War Zone competition will fight out the last National War Zone, and then the people in the entire National War Zone will be teleported to the real battlefield. That is to say, about a few dozen days later, all the people of Yifeng's era will come here. He is probably madly improving his strength during this period, so let us wait slowly for a month or two. Chapter 335. At this time, Yifeng was completely unaware of these discussions about himself. He just wanted to withdraw 500 gold coins for today's Wukaishan before the daily refresh. After a hard fight, it was already midnight when Yifeng returned to the base. Although it was late at night, there were still many people partying. Today's huge victory made many people so excited that they couldn't sleep. After Yifeng exchanged the honor points for gold coins, he was ready to recruit some more chess pieces. But this time, he was surprised to find something incredible. The number of his gold coins should have been more than 700, but now he has more than 700. Where did the extra 5,000 gold coins come from? Yifeng hurriedly checked the relevant survival game tips, and finally found out where the extra 5,000 gold coins came from. The settlement of this National War Zone battle has been completed, and the survivors' personal rewards have been issued. This reward, 5,000 gold coins, 3 barracks replicators, and 3 light equipment selectors. The reward is a total of 5,000 gold coins, as well as 3 barracks replicators and 3 pieces of light equipment of your choice. This reward made Yifeng very happy. After spending 3,900 gold coins, the number of 3-star 5-cost LeBlanc, Sona, Rambo, Mordekaiser, Jace, Caitlyn, and Jinx reached the upper limit of 200. Yifeng recruited 50 20-cost Twilight Berserkers again, which consumed 1,000 gold coins. The 5,000 gold coins of the reward were consumed in this way, leaving only more than 800 gold coins. Yifeng added 100 more Savikas, bringing the number of Savikas to 118. With the remaining 300 gold coins, Yifeng also added 180 low-cost Morganas, bringing the total to 200. Yifeng did not continue to use the remaining 100 gold coins for the time being. Soon it was the 51st day, and the Battle of the National War Zone started again. This time, Yifeng did not say much nonsense, and redistributed the troops again, turning it into a 25-way sweep. And this time Yifeng changed the task given to these intelligent chess pieces to return after destroying a National War Zone. Today's battle was faster, and more than 80 National War Zones were destroyed in total. There were less than 200 countries and regions in the entire Yin country, and now only the last few dozen countries are left. Today's bonus is still generous gold coin rewards. This allowed Yifeng to raise the 4-cost cards and Bisa and Spider Elise to 3 stars. And all of them have been pulled to the upper limit of 200. The huge amount of gold coins allowed Yifeng to pull all the chess pieces to the upper limit of 200. The total number of chess pieces has reached about 5,000. Yifeng's combat power has been pulled to the upper limit now. The only way to improve it is with equipment, magic scrolls, or some special props. Today's great victory made Yifeng even lose the motivation to continue to go to the real battlefield to hunt void monsters. After all, the gold coins are enough, and it doesn't matter whether the honor value is brushed or not. On the 53rd day, the Battle of the National War Zone has only been carried out for the third day. But the number of surviving National War Zones is less than 100. At this time, in the core area of the real battlefield, Zhao Tianxi sighed. It seems that my guess was right. Yi Feng didn't come here yesterday. It is estimated that the war in the National War Zone has reached a fever pitch, and he has no time at all. Let's wait quietly, and wait for the victory of Yin country in this era. No one doubted that Yin country would win the final victory. After all, with Yi Feng's strength, as long as he is here, Yin country will not face too much crisis. It just takes some time to completely eliminate all the survivors from other countries. This time may take 30 days faster, and it is also possible that it takes 60 days slower. After all, it took them more than 40 days to end the war in the National War Zone at the fastest. In the Scarlet Land, Yi Feng has set the final goal. That is to completely end the war in the National War Zone today. Everyone have a good rest today. I will go to deal with all the remaining National War Zones alone. After Yi Feng sent this message, many people immediately relaxed. With Yi Feng's words, they can rest assured. Although with Yi Feng's presence, victory is a matter of time. But for the sake of daily settlement rewards, many people are still working hard to contribute their own strength and have not stopped the pace of fighting. Now Yi Feng is going to solve all the war zones by himself, and many people want to follow Yi Feng to have a taste of soup. At this moment, in the remaining national war zones, they are all completely panicked. Especially when Yi Feng used the cross-border chat channel to pull some people in these remaining war zones into the chat channel and announce their death. This made them even more anxious all day long. How about we unite our countries and attack the headquarters of Yin country together? At worst, we will all die together. Someone from one country proposed this proposal. This immediately attracted the approval of others. If they continue like this, they will be defeated one by Yi Feng. Now they will unite and fight for their lives. Maybe there is still a glimmer of hope. Thinking of this, all the war zones of these countries came out in full force. The remaining countries such as Lifeng country, Lia country, Sun Never Sets country, Stan country, etc. all commanded all the survivors to kill together in the direction of Yin country. This war, life and death, will happen today. As the administrator of the multinational chat channel, Yi Feng did not stop them, and even looked forward to it. If they all come here, he can save a lot of effort. These people seem to be fighting to the death, but in Yi Feng's eyes, they are just sheep entering the tiger's mouth. Soon, prompt sounds rang one after another. Survivors from the real war zone invaded the main base of the Yin war zone. Survivors from the Lifeng war zone invaded the main base of the Yin war zone. Voice after voice came, and the remaining countries all took the initiative to kill at this moment. Many people in the Yin base were eager to fight, and were ready to take their chess pieces to fight. Let me come alone. After sending this message, Yi Feng took his chess pieces and fought against thousands of troops alone. This scene made many people sweat for Yi Feng. However, when Yi Feng's chess pieces took action, their worries were gone. This was the first time many people saw the combat power of Yi Feng's chess pieces with their own eyes. This exaggerated scene made many people completely dumbfounded. All of Yi Feng's chess pieces have high HP, and their skills can kill a large number of people instantly. The airships that appeared inexplicably in the sky were also constantly dropping some golden chess pieces to assist in the battle. What shocked everyone was the high-dimensional heirloom that Sevika was carrying. That thing was constantly recruiting golden 3-star 5-cost chess pieces, making Yi Feng's fighting power more and more, and the enemy was swept away like a crispy skin. The battle ended completely not long after, and the ears of all the survivors of Yin country also heard the prompt sound. The battle of the National War Zone ended, and the final winning country was Yin country. Chapter 336. The Victory Zone will issue all rewards and unlock the real battlefield. All survivors whose base level reaches level 8 must go to the real battlefield before 9 a.m. tomorrow. After 30 days, no matter what the survivor's base level is, they are forced to go to the real battlefield. Yi Feng is not very interested in issuing rewards. After all, many rewards are no longer meaningful to Yi Feng now. And when they heard that the real battlefield was opened, and those with a base level of 8 were forced to go there, many survivors in Yin country were confused. What is this place? Why have you never heard of it? Many people expressed these doubts, and asked Yi Feng what the real battlefield is. After all, everyone knows how powerful Yi Feng is now, and has subconsciously regarded Yi Feng as the backbone. Yi Feng did not hide anything from other survivors. The real battlefield is the place where the survival game fights against those void monsters. Our Scarlet Land is the training ground for the behind-the-scenes game. As soon as Yi Feng's words were sent out, everyone collected a lot of useful information from them. It was similar to what everyone guessed. This survival game was all about raising goo. Fortunately, they were lucky, with the appearance of Yifeng, a super boss, allowing Yin Country to successfully become the final winner. But after becoming the final winner, everyone had to face the Void Monster. This was the real purpose and meaning of the survival game. No one knew how difficult the real battlefield was. However, from Yifeng's words, some people inferred that Yifeng must have a very good understanding of the real battlefield. Therefore, some people continued to ask Yifeng about the details of the real battlefield. Yifeng did not hide it. After all, now only the Yin people are left. Yin people do not lie to Yin people. In this world of survival, it is okay to help each other. Don't worry about this. The real battlefield is also divided into core areas, central areas and peripheral areas, etc., and will be allocated according to strength. I have been to the peripheral area many times. The strength of those people is actually about the same as some of the strong ones among us, and there are no accidents. Yifeng's words made many people feel at ease. I am afraid that after going to the real battlefield, they will directly face monsters that cannot be solved at all, and then they will become cannon fodder alive. However, the information revealed by Yifeng Bao made them completely relieved. However, soon someone reacted. What Yifeng said just now was, I have been there many times. As expected, Yifeng had been to the real battlefield in advance. This made many people sigh. It seems that Yifeng is really ahead of everyone in everything, and even made everyone unable to see his back. However, Yifeng is a Yin countryman, and that's enough. After Yifeng explained some of the situation to them, he answered all the questions in the minds of the survivors who were about to go to the real battlefield, so that they had a bottom line in their hearts. Tomorrow, everyone will go to the real battlefield together, so that we can take care of each other when the time comes. Someone made a proposal. This proposal was naturally unanimously agreed by everyone. After all, there is strength in numbers, and everyone will feel safer if they go together. As for Yifeng, after everyone was done, he went directly to the real battlefield. This trip was different from the previous ones. During the transmission process, Yifeng was pulled into an unknown space. In this space, a scene appeared, which revealed the origin of these void monsters to Yifeng. It was an endless void, and a huge monster with a fusion of dark purple and dark red, whose specific appearance could not be seen, invaded a universe. Then, the monster came to a special world. It seemed to be ready to break through this world and enter the core. However, this world was divided into 3 layers. The monster seemed unable to go deeper, and separated some clone monsters, and used these monsters to enter the first and second layers of the world. Soon, many humans appeared in the first layer of the world. These humans recruited pawns, hunted monsters, and then continued to grow. Not long after, they entered the second layer of the world. Still growing in the same way, soon someone encountered a void monster, and then a war was about to break out. After a period of development, these people finally went to the third layer of the world. That is the world where the huge monster is. They continued to fight with the clones of the giant monster, and the strongest among them went to the core area and faced the monster's body. However, his strength was very limited, and he was almost beaten back by the monster's body. However, another force in this world controlled the giant monster in a small area at this moment. Immediately, a large number of new humans appeared in the first layer. These humans began to recruit different chess pieces and repeated the previous process. After repeating this 12 times, the survivors in the core area finally had the strength to directly fight against the monster. But it was still difficult to destroy the monster. The screen changed again, and this time, humans appeared in the first layer of the world again. And the screen kept zooming in, and Yifeng's appearance appeared. Yifeng understood everything at this moment. That huge monster was probably the source monster that this survival game had to fight against. And these 3 layers of worlds were clearly the forest-based world, the Scarlet Land world, and the real battlefield world. The thing behind the survival game might be a world will, or some other supreme existence that Yifeng could not understand. But no matter what it was, it didn't have much impact on Yifeng. As long as the monster at the source was killed, it would definitely end it all. After the screen disappeared completely, a voice came to Yifeng's ears. The voice was very familiar. It was the reminder sound of the survival game on weekdays. The strength of the survivor Yifeng from the Yin Kingdom in the 13th era is being tested, and the preliminary rating is being carried out. After the rating is completed, the survivors will be assigned to different areas of the real battlefield according to the rating results. After a few minutes of waiting, the survival game finally completed the rating of Yifeng. After testing, the strength rating of the survivor Yifeng from the Yin Kingdom in the 13th era is EX level. You will be assigned to the core area of the real battlefield soon. Listening to these prompts, Yifeng himself was a little confused. According to Lu Shui and others, the initial rating was the highest S level at the beginning, and only by constantly hunting void monsters later, it is possible to reach the SS level or even SSS level. The strongest in each era, the survivors who face the source monsters in the core area of the battlefield, are all SSS level. What the hell is Yifeng's EX level? Just as Yifeng was thinking, he found that he had completed the teleportation, and there were 12 people around him with wide eyes. Chapter 337. At this time, in the core area, the 12 people headed by Zhao Tianxi were discussing the recent situation. The source monster has been making small moves recently, and they are planning to clear the monster's clones in batches to weaken the monster's strength. After the monster's strength is weakened, try to hurt the monster's body, let it fall into a period of sleep, and exchange more development time for everyone. Just when they were discussing fiercely, each of them proposed different battle plans. But they didn't expect that at this time, a ray of light appeared. A figure appeared in the center of them. And the handsome young man who just appeared smiled and greeted them. "Hello, everyone, it's our first meeting. Have you eaten?" Then, the reminder sound of the survival game came over. Yifeng, a survivor of Yin country in the 13th era, this time is rated as EX level. This time assigned area, core battlefield area. Please help each other, survivors in the core battlefield, and strive to solve the source monster as soon as possible. Everyone immediately understood everything. The person in front of them is the survivor of the new era, Yifeng of Yin country. Of course, Yifeng and the others all knew about it. After all, this was a new man of the new era that everyone was paying attention to. Everyone thought that he could reach the same level as them. However, they all thought that Yifeng, who was in the national war zone, would need at least a month to come to the real battlefield. But they never expected that Yifeng would come here after just a few days. Some people were so shocked that they stuttered. "Yifeng? Are you still fighting in the national war zone? Why did you suddenly appear here? If you want to be graded, you must wait until the national war zone war is over." This statement is obviously redundant. Another survivor immediately reacted, looking at Yifeng with a look of shock on his face. His mouth almost opened into a circle. "Don't tell me that you have ended the national war zone war in these few days." As soon as this was said, everyone reacted, and their expressions looking at Yifeng were extremely complicated. In just a few days, the national war zone war was over. It seems that there is more than one survivor from Yin country with similar strength to Yifeng, otherwise it would be impossible to end it so quickly. Thinking of this, everyone's eyes lit up. How many survivors are as strong as you? In your era, you can end the national war zone war so quickly. There must be a lot of strong ones. When will they come to the real battlefield? Since the end of the national war zone war in this era has become a foregone conclusion, then this result must be achieved by a large group of Yin country survivors with good strength. This ignited their hope. If this is the case, perhaps the core area will be able to have several or even more than 10 new people join this time. This is undoubtedly a shot of adrenaline for the battle in the core area. It's just me. The strength of the others may not be that strong. Yifeng's answer disappointed everyone. Some people even thought Yifeng was joking. Only him? Then how did Yin country win the national war zone battle in a short time? Could it be done by Yifeng alone? Thinking of this, many of the 12 people showed a subtle expression on their faces. Could it be that Yifeng was worried that others would steal the limelight, so he deliberately told everyone that he was the strongest? However, Zhao Tianxi frowned at this moment, and he suddenly remembered the previous prompt sound. He knew that what Yifeng said was true. His frown meant that Yifeng's strength exceeded his expectations, and everything seemed to have to be considered in the long run. Seeing that other companions seemed to be a little suspicious of Yifeng, Zhao Tianxi reminded everyone at this time, think carefully about the prompt sound just now. How did the survival game evaluate Yifeng's strength? Hearing this, everyone hurriedly recalled the prompt of the survival game just now in their minds. Suddenly, a group of people's faces changed. If I heard it correctly, the initial evaluation of Yifeng in the survival game just now was EX level. EX level, others may not know, but they know it very well. This EX level is a higher rating above SSS level. Only when the survival game determines that the survivor can pose a certain threat to the source monster can this evaluation be obtained. So far, Zhao Tianxi is the only one who has received this EX level rating in the entire real battlefield, and the newcomer Yifeng, who has just arrived at the real battlefield, has been rated as EX level by the survival game. That shows one thing: Yifeng's strength far exceeds that of other survivors of their time. Some people looked at Yifeng carefully. This young man seemed to have nothing special except that he was a little handsome. How did he crush other survivors by a huge margin? This became a puzzle in everyone's mind. Even two people couldn't help but sigh in their hearts after thinking about this matter. Perhaps the strength of this newcomer Yi Feng has surpassed them by now. I really don't know how Yi Feng has developed so quickly. Some people couldn't help but want to complain. Are you kidding me? EX level, how can this be a newcomer? This is more like a monster than a void monster. This complaint immediately resonated with everyone. Everyone nodded subconsciously. Yi Feng listened to their words and couldn't help but say, "Everyone, I'm still here. Isn't it a bit rude to say I'm a monster in person?" However, Yi Feng would not be angry because of these words. After all, Yi Feng understood that these words were more of a complaint, not really having any bad intentions towards him. At this time, Xiao Tianxi, the leader of the 12 people, took the initiative to stand up, walked in front of Yi Feng, and stretched out his palm to Yi Feng. "Hello, my name is Xiao Tianxi. Welcome to join. We can discuss the strategy to deal with the source monster together." Others also introduced themselves one after another, so that Yi Feng had a preliminary understanding of these people. Soon Xiao Tianxi took out a paper map, marked it, and then explained to Yi Feng the general situation of the source void monster. After listening to Xiao Tianxi's explanation, Yi Feng roughly understood the situation. In addition to the main body of this source monster, there are many clones distributed in various places in this core area. Xiao Tianxi's plan is to kill these clones first, and then face the source monster directly. At the same time, Xiao Tianxi also made a general introduction to the abilities of these clone monsters, so that Yi Feng can deal with them. After speaking, Xiao Tianxi looked at Yi Feng. "What output is mainly based on your chess piece lineup? Find a clone that is easy to deal with, and I will arrange someone to go with you." Xiao Tianxi gave Yi Feng enough care as a newcomer, and asked him to choose a clone to deal with first. "Why bother so much? I will just kill the main body directly. Leave the clone to you." Chapter 338. After Yi Feng finished speaking, the faces of the people around him all looked a little strange. This newcomer is a little too ignorant. Xiao Tianxi's expression was also suddenly stunned at this time. Obviously, he didn't expect Yi Feng to say such a thing. "Yi Feng, you may be very strong in the Scarlet Land, but the monster at the source is not something that one person can deal with casually." Xiao Tianxi's words were more tactful, but everyone could understand the meaning of his words. Obviously, he didn't believe that Yi Feng could solve the source monster. This was not their fault, after all. So many of them had been through so much time, and they only became equal to the monster. Suddenly a newcomer came, and said that he wanted to face the source monster directly. No one was willing to believe it. "Newcomer, you may be stronger than us, but you are still a little too confident to face the source monster alone." At this time, someone was unhappy and directly cast doubt at Yi Feng. "It's okay. Who of you can lead the way? If I'm not strong enough, you can just treat it as a joke." Yi Feng's answer was neither humble nor arrogant, which made the man not know how to continue. At this time, Xiao Tianxi also stepped out to smooth things over and said, "Okay, I take you to see the situation first, so that you can be mentally prepared." Xiao Tianxi led Yi Feng to a road in the core area. This side can directly lead to the source monster. For safety reasons, everyone should summon the chess pieces first. After arriving at this core area, everyone's chess pieces were placed in a space by the survival game. Can be summoned at any time with consciousness. After saying this, Xiao Tianxi summoned his chess pieces. Xiao Tianxi has a total of 23 barracks. At this time, Yi Feng discovered that Xiao Tianxi's chess pieces are all S11 chess pieces, and there are no special chess pieces such as God's Barracks and Future Power Barracks. Although there are more than 20 barracks, it can be seen that the main bonds are Paper Cut Fairy and Eternal Forest and Blue and White Porcelain, Heavenly General, and Son of the Dragon. The 5-cost barracks have Aurelia, Azir, Lysandra, Sun Wukong, Xia, and Luo. Then the bond chess pieces of these 5-cost cards are also gathered. Not only that, a 4-star Kale appeared on the battlefield. Yi Feng asked casually, "There are quite a lot of job transfer emblems, 10 Paper Cut Fairies, 6 Blue and White Porcelain, 6 Eternal Forest, and Heavenly General emblems. Are they all collected?" Hearing Yi Feng's question, Xiao Tianxi nodded proudly. "Yes, I discovered the use of the bond emblem very early. More than 20 barracks have gathered a lot of big bonds. Let me tell you back then." Xiao Tianxi suddenly stopped talking halfway. He remembered something, that is, why Yi Feng could know the bond situation of his era. Looking at Xiao Tianxi's shocked eyes, Yi Feng gave an answer casually, as if he was talking about something insignificant. "I know all the bonds from S1 to S13, don't be so surprised." Hearing this, Xiao Tianxi remained calm on the surface, but his heart was already in turmoil. However, he did not ask anything. After all, Asking these questions did not make much sense. Perhaps Yi Feng was able to stand out in this era by relying on the information gap. But what he didn't know was that the information gap was just a bonus for Yi Feng's rise. The most important thing was the various resources and attributes provided by Hex Tech Enhancement. However, Yi Feng would not tell Zhao Tianxi about these situations. Following Zhao Tianxi's lead, the two of them came to a strange area after several teleportations. In this area, the surrounding space was constantly fluctuating like flowing water. It was as if the boundaries of different worlds were colliding. The surrounding space was filled with light of different colors, dyeing the entire space into gorgeous colors. If you go a few hundred meters further, you will probably be able to alarm the monster. You can try with a chess piece to make you give up. Yi Feng nodded without commenting on Zhao Tianxi's friendly reminder. Under the leadership of Zhao Tianxi, they kept moving forward. After walking more than 500 meters, anomalies appeared in the space, and void cracks appeared from time to time in the surrounding space. At the same time, a beast roared throughout the space. Following the sound, a huge monster stood in the space not far away and looked at Yi Feng and his group. Its body was hundreds of meters tall. Although the monster was close at hand, its face was unclear. It was as if there was a layer of something between the two, like seeing flowers in the fog. However, the only thing that could be seen clearly was the monster's eyes. One was deep purple, and the other was dark red, representing the power of the void and scarlet respectively. This is the source monster. You can give up if you try it. Yi Feng heard this, and commanded Adarius to walk towards the source monster. The monster saw that Yi Feng and his men dared to command the chess pieces forward, and immediately prepared to teach them a lesson. The monster's body lit up, and deep purple light fell like a rainstorm, attacking Yi Feng's chess pieces. Seeing the monster's trick, Zhao Tianxi shook his head. The monster threw a big move right away. This move hit his chess piece, and each hit could deal about 6,000 damage, and it would hit more than 10 times within 3 seconds. It had to rely on various magic scrolls to reduce damage and increase defense to withstand it. Yi Feng's chess piece did not increase any attributes, so it must have been killed instantly. However, when the damage came out, Zhao Tianxi was completely dumbfounded. Reduce 400. Reduce 402. Reduce 408. More than 10 damage lines lit up on Darius' body, and the damage was about 400 points. At this moment, Zhao Tianxi felt that his worldview had collapsed. What a joke! How could Yi Feng's chess pieces be so powerful? The monster's attack only caused more than 4,000 points of damage. Before he came to his senses, Yi Feng spoke first. It seems that this so-called source monster is just like this. If it's just like this, then I will start fighting directly. After that, Yi Feng directly commanded all his chess pieces to kill and attack the source boss. This rash move scared Zhao Tianxi, who was afraid of any accidents. However, when he saw that all the chess pieces in the front row of Yi Feng could easily withstand the damage of the source monster, he felt mixed emotions. The source monster that everyone couldn't deal with, this newcomer could actually deal with it easily. However, Zhao Tianxi reacted quickly. This is a good opportunity, no matter why this newcomer is so powerful. But the dawn of being able to kill the source monster has finally appeared. Chapter 339. Thinking of this, Zhao Tianxi shouted to Yi Feng, "Brother, this thing is awesome, I give it to you, just use it. I prevent it from recovering blood later." Speaking of this, Zhao Tianxi took out a magic scroll that looked particularly complex in runes, and it looked very beautiful, and handed it to Yi Feng. After giving the thing to Yi Feng, he turned around and left the place. He walked quickly, without stopping for a moment. Yi Feng checked the information of this magic scroll. Forbidden healing magic scroll, only use it on the source monster, it can prevent it from recovering blood within 24 hours. When Zhao Tianxi and his group explained it earlier, they mentioned that the source monster also had many blood recovery skills. Once everyone organized an attack, and used a lot of magic scrolls and props to weaken the monster's attributes. But in the end, the source monster relied on a lot of blood recovery skills to drag out the duration of various magic scrolls and props. In the end, Zhao Tianxi and his group had no choice but to retreat. Yi Feng knew that Zhao Tianxi's departure was not to escape, but to act separately. After all, Zhao Tianxi had said before that this source monster had split into many clones. After these clones were defeated, the strength of the source monster itself could be weakened. If nothing unexpected happened, Zhao Tianxi should have gone back to get people to attack the clones. After all, Yi Feng could face the source monster directly, and the opportunity was right in front of him, so he naturally wouldn't want to miss it. Not long after, Zhao Tianxi returned to their rest area, and the other 11 people showed puzzled expressions when they saw Zhao Tianxi coming back alone. "Where's the new guy?" someone asked. However, Zhao Tianxi didn't want to waste time explaining at this time. "Everyone, get ready and use all the props you can use. This time, we will kill all the clones of the source monster." Although everyone didn't quite understand what he said, but the tacit understanding of long-term cooperation still made them act immediately. "What's the matter? We used all our trump cards to kill the clones this time. After a while, the monster can be separated again. Is it really useful?" "That's right, Brother Tianxi. Is there any deep meaning in your arrangement? What about the newcomer before?" Everyone was asking what the situation was. At this time, Zhao Tianxi only had time to explain one sentence. "The newcomer Yi Feng can confront the source monster head-on. After we clear all the clones, maybe we can really..." Before Zhao Tianxi finished speaking, he couldn't help getting excited, and even his body trembled a little. Others also understood what Zhao Tianxi had not finished saying. Suddenly, they were all excited. If this is true, then maybe everyone will see the final ending of this survival game soon. I will deal with 2 clones by myself, and the remaining 11 clones will be handed over to you." As he said, everyone dispersed and acted separately. After all, the source monster has split into 13 clones. Each clone has different powers. Soon, they went to the corresponding area and fought with the clones of the source monster. One of the clones was a humanoid monster driving a plane, but the monster was covered with purple, and the human shape could not be seen clearly. The missiles that attacked turned into purple bugs. The second clone monster is also in human form, but its body is fused with dark purple, and it can't see the human shape at all. The only sign that can be seen clearly is that its left hand is abnormally huge, and its index finger is much longer than the other fingers. The third clone monster carries a giant crossbow on its back, and its body is dark purple. When the giant crossbow attacks, countless purple lights splash and hit the chess pieces, causing thousands of damage. The fourth clone monster is like a humanoid mouse, holding a small crossbow in its hand, which can throw out balls of purple energy attached to the enemy and continuously cause damage to the enemy. The fifth clone monster holds a spear, and while causing damage to the enemy, it can also continuously leave a stream of energy. When the energy accumulates to a certain number of layers, it can also explode and cause damage to all enemies around. The eighth clone monster is also in human form, with 2 dark purple flesh wings on its back, with a large range of killing means, and can instantly fly far away in the battlefield. The 2 clone monsters Zhao Tianxi faced were also humanoid monsters wrapped in dark purple and dark red, and they looked nothing like humans. One of the figures held a weapon similar to a sniper rifle, while the other clone held a machine gun. But the skills they released were all void energy, with great lethality. In addition to their similar appearance, these monsters also had another feature. That was, like puppets, their body movements were obviously very uncoordinated during the battle. It was more like being controlled by something. But Zhao Tianxi and his men didn't have the energy to understand these. What they wanted now was to kill these clones as soon as possible, weaken the strength of the source monster, and then go to the source monster to support Yi Feng. Not only that, Zhao Tianxi also sent a message in the real battlefield. Let the survivors in all areas hunt the void monsters as much as possible. Let everyone kill into the void channel and launch a counterattack against the void monsters. These void monsters are also split from the source monster, although they have been divided many times. But the death of these monsters can also weaken the source monster a little bit. The death of 1 or 2 monsters may not have much impact on the source monster. But if all the people are united, then the source monster can still be weakened a little bit. Perhaps just this little bit of weakening can make the balance of victory tilt more towards the survivors. Don't worry, we will come to the void channel to find you later, but this time it is about killing the source monster. Please don't hold back. Suddenly, the entire real battlefield was boiling. Countless survivors shouted and rushed into the void channel world. They were not afraid. After so many years of fighting, they finally saw the dawn. Why not give it a try? Yi Feng, who was fighting the source monster at the moment, also slowly noticed something. Although the monster's means of damage were very diverse, it was all kinds of AoE full field damage at any time, and even killed Yi Feng's back rows several times. But with the existence of Mel, these sacrificed chess pieces can be resurrected again, and after the attack speed of Twilight Fury became faster, the Star-Falling Sword, the Silent Sword, and the Disarming Sword all exerted their strength, making the monster often unable to attack. Everything is moving in the right direction, and it seems that everything will end today. Chapter 340. Due to the total annihilation counterattack, many void monsters were killed by the survivors, which weakened the strength of the source monster. Yi Feng's pressure was getting smaller and smaller, but the monster's blood volume was too thick. Yi Feng fought for more than an hour, but still failed to kill the opponent. And seeing that the monster kept roaring in anger, it was obviously not in a desperate situation. 2 hours into the battle, the first of the monster's 13 most powerful clones was finally killed. It turned into a stream of energy and disappeared completely. The first clone was killed, and soon the second, third, and fourth clones were constantly killed by the survivors. The attack and defense of the source monster became lower and lower. When all the clones were killed, the monster finally got anxious, and the people who killed the clone monsters also hurried to the direction of the source monster. In order to kill the clone monsters as soon as possible, they consumed a lot of props and magic scrolls. They wanted to rush to the source to assist Yi Feng, while the effects of some items were still there. Even though their strength was a little weaker than Yi Feng's, the more damage they could inflict, the more likely it was that the monster would be destroyed. When the 12 of them arrived at the battlefield, they saw Yi Feng's chess pieces constantly fighting with the huge monster. And seeing the monster's crazy look, it was obvious that Yi Feng had the upper hand. "We are here to support you." Without much nonsense, a group of people all commanded their chess pieces to attack. After entering the battle, they realized how powerful Yi Feng's chess pieces were. Leona was almost immune to damage, Darius could only deal a few hundred points of damage to the monster, and Swain, the crow, was still intact after being hit by the monster's killer mace with 100,000 damage in one go. These exaggerated means made them sigh that Yi Feng's strength was indeed better than theirs, and he didn't look like a newcomer at all. It seems that there is nothing wrong with the survival game defining Yi Feng as EX level. Thinking of this, those who had doubted Yi Feng before showed a trace of embarrassment on their faces at this moment. But at this moment, they didn't have time to think so much. After all, the various AoE damages of the monsters could beat their chess pieces to residual blood. They had to keep using magic scrolls to recover blood to ensure the safety of the chess pieces. They couldn't deal with it as easily as Yi Feng. Soon, the monster let out a shrill and long cry. It was creepy to hear. Cracks soon appeared on the monster's body, as if it would shatter in the next second. Soon, light shone inside the monster, and its eyes became more dazzling. The original eyes were now like two suns, so dazzling that people could not look directly at them. With a boom, the monster's body exploded. Huge energy swept across the entire battlefield. Energy waves came one after another, turning into the most terrifying damage, hitting the chess pieces, with tens of thousands of points, although Zhao Tianxi and his party used a lot of enhancement props. But the chess pieces were still killed instantly in this explosion. And Yi Feng relied on the magic scroll of the last stand to ensure the safety of the chess pieces in the back row. Did they win? At this time, everyone was a little confused. After the monster exploded, a dark purple gas mass was formed, and the situation inside could not be seen clearly. Is it over? Some people asked without any certainty. After all, they had never really killed the source monster in such a long time. Zhao Tianxi also had a feeling of unreality at this time. Facing his companion's questions, he could only give an ambiguous answer. We should have won. The source monster's body was destroyed. The reminder sound of the survival game sounded, announcing something to everyone. Suddenly, Zhao Tianxi and his party could not help but roar. Victory! After being suppressed for so long, they finally waited for the long-awaited victory. What will happen after the victory? Return to the original parallel world? Or stay in this survival world? The survivors who were fighting in the Void Channel, and the Void monsters, who were fighting all exploded instantly at this moment, and then turned into a stream of energy and disappeared. Victory? When the reminder sound of the survival game sounded, everyone became excited. Some people even shouted excitedly, just like wild people in the forest. But Yi Feng found something wrong at this time. Malzahar is still in combat. That is to say, the infection level on the monster has not dissipated, but has spread to other enemies, and this enemy is likely to be hidden in the purple energy ball in front. Be careful! Yi Feng suddenly shouted to Zhao Tianxi and his group. All their chess pieces were killed in the explosion just now. If the monster attacks again, it will cause damage to their bodies. Sure enough, just after Yi Feng shouted this, a stream of energy rushed out from the purple energy ball. It instantly hit a survivor. The survivor lost his life before he could react, and fell to the ground. This situation frightened everyone, and they hurriedly retreated. In the current battlefield, only Yi Feng still had a chess piece to fight. Yi Feng, let's run together. This situation is not right. Zhao Tianxi and his other companions hurriedly retreated, and asked Yi Feng to retreat with them. The monster was destroyed, but it was obvious that there was something else. At this time, the purple energy ball in front of them was constantly disappearing, as if it was sucked in by something. After it completely disappeared, they finally saw the thing in the energy ball. It turned out to be the monster's eyes. At this time, one eye was shining with a deep purple light, and the other eye was shining with a scarlet light. The light was slowly dimming, and the eyes in it were also changing into human form. When the light completely dissipated and turned into two human figures, Yifeng immediately recognized what the two human figures looked like. The dark purple eyes turned into a human figure, and something was flying in the air on the left and right behind him, which looked like a pair of dark purple animal heads. If you look closely, you can see that there is a fine line connecting the animal head and the body. The human figure itself was covered with a layer of dark purple skin, which looked like it was covered with something. And the scarlet eyes turned directly into another figure. The figure of the humanoid monster was dark red as a whole, and it was also covered with something that was constantly wriggling. Behind it, there was a huge crossbow formed by the gathering of scarlet energy. What surprised Yifeng the most was that the monster's eyes were actually red glasses formed by energy. Chapter 341. Looking at the two figures, Yifeng recognized them immediately. If nothing unexpected happened, these two are Kaisa and Vayne, but Yifeng had never seen Kaisa and Vayne like this. It seems that these two heroes have never released similar skins. However, the monster transformed by the eyes did not seem to give Yifeng much time to think. The two beast heads behind the Kaisa monster actually opened their mouths, and then endless energy was released, and thousands of energy light balls hit Yifeng's chest pieces crazily. The damage this time was extremely terrifying, and it could cause about 1,000 points of damage to Darius. If Yifeng did not have enough chess pieces to disperse the damage, he might have killed a chess piece instantly. Seeing that his attack did not work, the Kaisa monster suddenly rushed into the back row and flew into the back row instantly. The speed was so fast that it even left a phantom on the spot. This time it rushed into Morgana in the back row, and fired a huge energy missile in front of it, instantly blowing up a group of Morgana to death. Mel flew over in time, and a golden light lit up, resurrecting the sacrificed pieces. But this is only a temporary solution, not a permanent solution. The damage of this Kaisa is too exaggerated, and it can move freely on the battlefield. If it continues like this, Yifeng will be slowly consumed to death sooner or later. At this time, the figure of Vayne also took action, and a long energy arrow flew out of the giant crossbow in his hand, and then split into countless small arrows, flying towards Yifeng's front row. The damage is not high, about 800 points. This is not stressful for Darius. But a red halo appeared under the feet of Darius, who was attacked. Then Vayne attacked again with the second attack, and also hit the target of the previous attack, making another halo under the feet of the chess piece. When the third attack came, Yifeng finally found something wrong. The original halo exploded and cracked, and a 9,000 point real damage number appeared on Darius' body. Vayne's 3 rings. Yifeng immediately understood what this was. He hurriedly used the magic scroll to restore Darius' health. At this time, Vayne suddenly disappeared, and appeared in another place a moment later, shooting crossbow arrows again. At this time, Kaisa rushed to another area in the back row, and the two beast heads behind him released endless energy again. All prey have nowhere to hide. The Kaisa monster spoke for the first time, and his voice was cruel, and sounded a little creepy. This time, it killed many of Yifeng's back row chess pieces again. Then, before Yifeng could react, it flew to another place again, wreaking havoc on Yifeng's back row chess pieces again. Let me teach you what fear is. Kaisa was very excited, as if everything was certain, and Vayne was no longer invisible, and the cycle of attacks made it difficult for Yifeng's chess pieces to lock on it and attack. The battle continued, although the two enemies could constantly move and hide, causing a lot of trouble for Yifeng. But Malzahar's infection layers were at least superimposed, which could provide a continuous recovery effect for Yifeng's lineup and ensure the safety of the chess pieces. The only regret was that Morgana and Renata's health in the back row was relatively low. Even with Mel's multiple resurrections, they were eventually eliminated. After Kaisa eliminated hundreds of Yifeng's back row pieces, he became even more arrogant. He even looked directly at Yifeng, looking at him with an extremely disdainful expression. In front of me, you are just a speck of dust. Its words were very cold, as if it had already won. Even though Yifeng had been attacking for a long time, it and Vayne were still full of energy, and it seemed that there was no impact. This scene was seen by Zhao Tianxi and his group. They stood far behind him, but did not dare to come forward casually. What other props are there? Take them out quickly, and give them to Yifeng. Zhao Tianxi took out a prop himself, and the others also took out a few props. After these props were gathered together, Zhao Tianxi waved to Yifeng and greeted him. Yifeng, take these things, they can be helpful on the battlefield. Yi Feng naturally heard Zhao Tianxi's words, and turned around to look at Zhao Tianxi and his group, who had already left for a distance. Not only did Yi Feng understand these words, but Casa Vane also understood them. The two enemies actually gave up Yi Feng's chess pieces as enemy targets, and directly let Yi Feng's chess pieces attack and rush towards Zhao Tianxi and his group. If these two enemies were allowed to rush over, the result of Zhao Tianxi and his group could be imagined. Retreat quickly! Yi Feng shouted hurriedly. Fortunately, Malzahar had the abnormal mutation of Frost Touch, which slowed down the enemy's movement speed a lot, so that the group could run a little faster than the two enemies. However, soon, Kassadin fired an energy missile and attacked Zhao Tianxi and his group. The man running at the back looked back at the energy missile that was getting closer and closer. He was so scared that he didn't dare to stop. His adrenaline was surging, and his speed was even faster. However, all this seemed to be in vain. The energy missile was getting closer and closer. Yi Feng wanted to help, but he was powerless. These two enemies were immune to all kinds of direct control, and Victor's Chaos Storm could not drag them into the air. So if you want to stop them, you can only rely on the soft control of Frost Touch to slow down. But the help that this soft control can provide is only a drop in the bucket. The missile was about to attack the survivor at the back, and Kassadin's face showed a cruel expression. However, a golden light appeared and blocked the survivor and the missile. The missile hit the golden light and melted away. Kassadin's expression froze at this moment, as if she was very afraid of the origin of the golden light. The golden light dissipated, and a figure appeared. It was a warrior with an eagle head and a human body, wearing golden armor with some gems on it. The eagle-headed warrior held a golden staff in his hand, and stepped on golden boots, showing his dignity and majesty. Yi Feng naturally recognized the figure that appeared. It was Azir, the desert emperor in the game. Everyone was a little confused about the sudden appearance of Azir. And Azir looked at Yi Feng and said meaningfully, "You are very good at killing the monsters in the four poles." Yi Feng immediately understood that, after killing the sealed monsters in the four poles, the survival game prompted that the former ascended warrior had returned. This Azir must be the returning ascended warrior. Chapter 342. When the weak become gods, they should be careful of backlash. Azir looked at Casa Vane and the two enemies again, and shouted this sentence in a cold tone. After hearing this, the two enemies looked very dissatisfied and attacked Azir directly. "Soldiers, wake up!" Azir waved the staff in his hand, and rows of sand soldiers rose up around the battlefield. These sand soldiers formed a circle, forming an area to surround the two enemies inside. The opponent also knew that now only by killing Azir and the survivors in front of them can they retreat unscathed. The two enemies roared in anger and turned to kill Yi Feng's chess piece again. It is obvious that they think Yi Feng is the easiest persimmon to grasp. However, they obviously underestimated the strength of Yi Feng's chess piece. It is very difficult to take down Yi Feng's chess piece, and the attack speed of Twilight Berserker is getting faster and faster. Even if the enemy has a high level of abnormal state immunity, it has to be hit. Silence, Disarm, and Starfall, three kinds of debuff hit Kaisa. It became a target that could not be counterattacked. And Vane soon encountered the same situation. Both wanted to escape, but they were slowed down by Frost Touch and could not run too fast. After all, without the skills to move and become invisible, their movement speed was not too fast. Even after escaping to the edge area, they were stopped by Azir Sand soldiers, and could not continue to escape. They could only fight with Yi Feng again helplessly. The battle lasted for several hours, and the health of the two enemies was finally reaching the bottom. Yi Feng couldn't help but sigh, "This monster is really meaty." "Young man, the battle is not over yet." Azir's loud voice reminded Yi Feng. Sure enough, after Yi Feng and Azir's siege, the two enemies finally couldn't hold on. Thieves of power, retreat. Azir's staff lit up with a golden light, shining on the two enemies. After being illuminated, the deep purple and scarlet on Kassadin and Vane were forced out. The original Kassadin and Vane were also slowly returning to their original appearance. It seems that it won't take long to completely expel them. Soon, both energies were completely expelled, and Kassadin and Vane returned to their original appearance. As if they had regained consciousness, they came behind Azir and looked at the purple and red light balls forced out by the golden light. The two light balls merged together again, as if to form a new monster. Azir just watched quietly without any movement. Yi Feng looked anxious. "No, buddy, do you think this is the invincible frame in the cartoon? The enemy is in this state. Won't you take advantage of it?" Yi Feng ordered the chess piece to attack the two balls of light. But he found that the attack seemed to have no effect on the two balls of light. No wonder Azir didn't make a move. After the two balls of light merged together, a new monster appeared. This monster had dark blue wings behind it, and its body was mainly silver and gold. Its hands were like two huge sickles. Looking at that appearance, Yifeng immediately recognized that the source monster was actually the Void Predator Kha'Zix. In other words, the source of everything is caused by this Void Predator. Kassadin and Vayne were also plundered and controlled by it. After revealing his true form, the Void Predator Kha'Zix was very angry. The armed sickle was waving in the air, as if he was ready to cut off Yifeng's head directly. It instantly entered the invisible state, and rushed towards Yifeng's chest piece. It has to be said that the Void Predator that appeared last was very powerful. Flapping its wings and flying towards the chest piece, a swoop can cause tens of thousands of points of damage to the surrounding chest pieces. In addition, its single attack is even more terrifying. The sickles on both arms are waving, just like the God of Death, which can deal tens of thousands of points of damage and eliminate one of Yifeng's back row chest pieces. If this continues, Yifeng may fail soon. However, the situation soon reversed. Yifeng has already obtained various trump card props from Zhao Tianxi and his party. Among these props, some can increase the output of chess pieces, and some can obtain higher damage reduction. The most special item for Yifeng is that within 6 hours, the damage to the chess piece will not exceed 5,000 points at a time. This item was provided by Zhao Tianxi. This item may not be of much significance in the hands of others. After all, the maximum health value of many people's chess pieces is less than 5,000 points. But this is very important to Yifeng. After all, the health value of Yifeng's chess piece far exceeds 5,000 points. Single damage, not exceeding 5,000 points, can prevent Yifeng's chess piece from being killed instantly. As long as it is not killed instantly, it can recover its health value. With the help of these props, the situation on the battlefield shifted to Yifeng's side. This battle lasted for a long time, at least more than 5 hours without completely killing the enemy. For a while, it seemed that no one could kill anyone. This was also the first time Yifeng encountered such a powerful monster. At this time, Yifeng was somewhat anxious. After all, if the prop with a maximum damage limit of 5,000 points is about to expire. If it expires, his chess pieces can't withstand the attack of Kha'Zix. Even if there are many, they may be wiped out later. Yifeng looked at the Desert Emperor Azir at this time. He hadn't participated in the battle for about half an hour, just floating in the sky, watching Yifeng fight with the enemy. Can you think of a way? Otherwise you will definitely not be able to kill it even if I'm done. Yifeng shouted to the sky. At this time, Azir's body lit up with a ball of light. After he waved his staff again, the ball of light on his body flew to the ground. 13 figures appeared in the light ball. After these figures appeared, they all attacked the Void Reaver Kha'Zix together. And Zhao Tianxi and his group outside the battlefield immediately recognized these figures. Isn't that the previous source monster clone? Someone shouted, but was quickly refuted. No, they look different. Their skin is not covered by the deep purple and scarlet energy. Look at that Kaisa, the black and white ink all over his body, much better looking than before. Indeed, the colors of these clones have been restored. I have to say that the original color is better. Could it be that these clones are also controlled by the source monster? Everyone speculated that these clones were controlled by the Void Reaver Kha'Zix. And Yifeng also recognized what these 13 figures were at this moment. Isn't this the Champion AD skin of the League of Legends from S1 to S13? Chapter 343. After the 13 figures appeared, they all flew into the air. They formed a group in the air, surrounding the Void Plunderer Kha'Zix below. The false throne will eventually collapse, and the thief will eventually perish. The figures shouted together, and rays of divine light shone from their bodies to Kha'Zix below. Illuminated by the rays of divine light, Kha'Zix seemed to be punished by God. It curled up on the ground, as if it was suffering from great pain. Soon, the silver and blue on Kha'Zix's body kept falling off like dyes melted by the scorching sun. After a while, the colors on Kha'Zix's appearance all faded, leaving only a dark purple. This was a return to its original form. Not only that, at this time, the figures in the sky were still attacking Kha'Zix. At this time, it can be clearly seen that the attack launched by Yifeng on this monster has increased a lot of damage. It seems that the silver and blue on its body before provided it with stronger defense. Without the protection of the silver and blue, its strength was instantly reduced to its original form. Soon, Yifeng's damage made it a little unbearable, and it wanted to hide and escape from here. However, when it fell into invisibility, it was illuminated by the group of figures in the sky with golden light, making it nowhere to hide. False god, nowhere to hide. The 13 figures above were like true gods one after another, overlooking Kha'Zix below. The battle lasted for a long time, and Yifeng could no longer remember how long it had been. Kha'Zix, the source of the void, was finally completely defeated. After another round of attacks, its body exploded and turned into a ball of deep purple void energy. Cracks appeared in the surrounding space one after another. This ball of energy seemed to have consciousness, and wanted to use these cracks to escape. However, the 13 figures in the sky were faster. Each of them sent down a divine light to completely seal the ball of energy. The god of hypocrisy will be sealed again. The 13 figures turned into balls of golden light, like a cage that completely trapped the ball of deep purple void energy. Yifeng vaguely heard a roar from the ball of void energy, and the sound was a bit like the sound of a mad puppy. Yifeng shook his head, thinking that he might have heard it wrong. After the monster at the source was completely sealed, Azir took the sealed ball of energy into his hand, looked at Yifeng and his group, and directly cut through the void and left completely. The source monster has been killed, and the final goal of the survival game has been achieved. This voice rang in everyone's ears. At this moment, the people who were still fighting the void monsters suddenly found that the enemies in front of them turned into ashes and disappeared. Is it over? Lu Shui in the outer area, after receiving the order, was a little puzzled, but still rushed into the world of the Void Channel with his companions to face the Void monsters head-on. They killed a lot of Void monsters, but their chess pieces were also severely damaged. Originally, they thought they would sacrifice here, but they never expected that these monsters would all turn into ashes. At this moment, Lu Shui felt a little confused. It's over? Everyone has persisted for so long, and the source of the Void monsters that need to be resisted has been completely eliminated. This should be a fortunate thing, but it also made her confused. All the motivation before was to kill the Void monsters at the source. But now that the Void monsters have been killed, where will everyone go? What should we do next in this survival world? The survival world is about to close. This second prompt sound is like a thunder in everyone's ears. The survival world is closed? What should we do next? At this moment, many people are in a daze. And the survivors of Yin country in the Scarlet Land are also confused at this time. Relying on Yifeng's strong strength, they successfully killed other countries' war zones and became the final winners. Although they have heard about the real battlefield, they still don't have much feeling for it. But before we even go to the real battlefield, we are told that the final boss has been killed. The survival game is going to be closed. What a joke. So where will everyone go next? This is the topic everyone wants to know. Yifeng was also a little confused about this result. The survival game is going to be closed so soon. So where will the future go? At this time, the reminder sound of the survival game sounded again. The survivors can choose one, return to their own parallel world with some special rewards, and start a new life. Special rewards will be given according to the survivor's performance in the survival game. For many people, this option is the best ending, being able to return to the parallel world of their original self and get some special rewards. I just don't know what these rewards are. Survivors can choose to carry the gold finger to travel through various worlds. The strength of the gold finger will be given according to the survivor's performance in the survival game. This option may not be so attractive to some people who have ties. But for those teenagers with thousands of fantasies in their hearts, it is the best. After hearing this prompt, college student Yang Bin sent a farewell text message to Yifeng and chose the second option without hesitation. I want to go to the Naruto world. Watch me eat Tsunade to lay alive. Yang Bin shouted, and was teleported away by a ray of light in the surprised eyes of everyone. At this time, Yifeng also received Yang Bin's text message. Brother Yifeng, thank you for your care for so many days. If it weren't for you, I would have been stuck in this survival game. I chose to go to the Naruto world. I don't know what you will choose. No matter what you choose, I wish you all the best. I will go to eat Tsunade's big thunder first. We have a long way to go in the rivers and lakes, and we will meet again if we are destined to do so. Seeing Yang Bin's message, Yifeng shook his head. This hot-headed guy actually chose to go to the Naruto world. I don't know if he can fulfill his dream. Soon, Deng Shiji, Zhang Jingguo, Wen Jiahao, and others sent messages to Yifeng and made their own choices. Zhang Jingguo just wanted to go home and meet his relatives again. Deng Shiji chose to go to a world of immortal cultivation and aspired to become a generation of sword immortals. Wen Jiahao went to the high martial arts world and wanted to break the sky with martial arts. Soon, there were fewer and fewer people in the survival world, and many people chose to leave after saying goodbye. Survivor Yifeng, please make your choice. The sound of the survival game rang in Yifeng's ears. At this moment, Yifeng only felt that he was standing on both sides of the intersection. Both sides had some desires and expectations. In the end, Yifeng also made his own choice. A ray of light enveloped him, and he completely left this world of survival.